Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. How are we doing? It is time. It's time for a new trial. I've been keeping this one a little bit close to the vest. Defense made a motion for a mistrial. Prosecutor was up to some fuckery. Potentially damaging evidence, no basis for it. The judge specifically said, do not ask that question. Do not use that as evidence. She walked right down the path and asked the question. It may be over on Tuesday morning. Batman Bruce Wayne bitch snitch. Gerald Brooks, your constitution does not apply to me because I'm a sovereign citizen, a traveler on the land. I'm from the Mauryan Empire or whatever, bitch snitch. Because they're so fucking absurd. If you want to be a sovereign citizen, just do yourself a favor first. Go to YouTube here and just get every sovereign citizen that's ever been before. Find me one that won. God dang, you're right. Don't go down this. It's not the path. Don't have time for stupidity. Some clever dick on the internet didn't find the great loophole in all of the world's law. Bitch snitch. God dang, you're right. God dang, you're right. Traveler on the land. God dang, you're right. Moorish Empire. Traveler on the land. Bitch snitch. Moorish Empire. God dang, you're right. Traveler on the land. Bitch snitch. The late evening U.S. people.
In the trial of Hannah Gutierrez Reed, all eyes turn to the courtroom as the case unfolds. Hannah Gutierrez Reed, the armorer on the set of the film Rust, faces charges related to the tragic shooting incident that took place during production. On October 21, 2021, a prop firearm discharged unexpectedly, resulting in the death of cinematographer Halyna Hutchins and injury to director Joel Souza. The pretrial phase has been marked by intense scrutiny of Gutierrez Reed's handling of firearms and adherence to industry safety protocols. The incident has sparked widespread discussion and raised questions about safety measures on film sets, prompting calls for stricter regulations. As Gutierrez Reed prepares to face trial, the outcome remains uncertain, with the film industry watching closely for potential implications on set safety standards. For further developments in this high-profile trial, stay tuned on the Legal Vices channel as the case of Hannah Gutierrez Reed continues to unfold.
Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, whoever you are, whatever you're doing, wherever you're doing it, whoever you're doing it with, however good it feels, however many times you're going to do it, etc., etc. I'm just glad you're doing it right here with me. Legal Vices on my little old channel I like to call Legal Vices. What is up, everybody? We are here for day 2 of the Hannah Gutierrez Reed interrogations, but today is also sort of day 1 of her trial. Just a short time from now, the jury will begin the selection process. They're not going to be streaming the jury selection process. That's going to be happening today. Tomorrow morning, probably about 27 hours from now, I'm guessing 26, 27 hours from now, they will start their opening statements. And we'll be covering that gavel to gavel. So wherever else you are on the internet, just make sure you're here at the start of the trial. Other channels might be doing it, but we don't care about them. We're the best channel. This is where you're going to want to watch the Hannah Gutierrez Reed trial. Alec Baldwin's interrogation video was literally the first Legal Vices video that was uploaded on my channel. So literally we've been following this case from day one of the existence of the Law Racks channel. Legal Vices, my channel, from day one. Quite literally, we've been doing this. And Hannah Gutierrez Reed, her videos were early on in the process. And peeps, people, friends, neighbors, countrymen, gotta say, I'm looking forward to it. It's getting underway. So just whatever, set your alarms, do whatever you have to do to make sure you're here when the trial starts tomorrow. In the meantime, in the run-up to the trial, yesterday we showed the first interrogation of Hannah Gutierrez Reed that took place immediately following the shooting. Today's interrogation, the second round of interrogation, took place about 3 weeks after the first one. So she said about 3 weeks to get her stuff together. Black Horse Cavalry asks, what did you do to the audio? I did nothing to the audio. Why? It should sound as awesome as it always does. I don't know. Anyway, don't know what that means. Yeah, so let's compare and contrast what happened yesterday. Yesterday, she was a bit sluggish. She looked like she may have been under the influence of alcohol, narcotics, or coming down from one of them, or maybe a hangover from the other. She was listless. She was lifeless. She didn't have a lawyer. She looked like hell. She sounded like hell, and she made some of the worst possible statements that you could possibly imagine making. Right there, after having been read her rights, and the police actually trying to convince her to get a lawyer. She still did the talky thing when she should have done the shut uppy thing. But we're getting ready here. Got everything organized. Don't want to hit the microphone. We have an amazing martini tonight. I'm looking forward to drinking this. This is a Korean gin called Buja Gin. It's a domestic Korean gin that's 46% gin martini. The gin was aged in bourbon barrels. So that's why it's got this color to it. The martini, the gin that's in the martini was aged in bourbon barrels. It's a very strong gin and I don't use vermouth when I make my martinis. I use Lillet Blanc, kind of sort of the same thing, but I think Lillet Blanc tastes better. So always got to have 3 olives, a bourbon barrel aged gin, and Lillet Blanc martini. Oh, that is so good. All right. Well, with that, let's get underway here, shall we? What do we got going here? We've got 192 people here already and only 98 likes. 100 of you haven't done your job. You 100, get down there right now. Get down there, hit the like button. It takes literally like an 1/8 of a second. It costs you nothing. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so, because we are going to be covering this trial. And immediately after this, we've got the Karen Reed trial coming up, supposedly March 12th. The YMW Melly trial was supposed to start around the 5th of March, but things are being appealed up to other courts now, so that's kind of off the books for the time being. So we've got trial after trial lined up here. This is the place you're going to want to be. So do it. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. Take our like and subscribe poll today. Today's like and subscribe poll. It all centers around dummies. Because she's saying, the gun was loaded with dummies, when clearly there was some live ammunition there. We've talked about how it's easy to tell dummies from blanks from live ammunition. So the question today, shoot the like and subscribe buttons and vote. What do dummies look like? No projectile on the end, an undented primer with projectile, they're just small round balls, or dummies look like Hannah Gutierrez Reed. Make your selection. We'll check back in an hour or so. And as super chats come in, we will read them as quickly as possible. Quite possibly right as they come up, if not within a few minutes. That's how we roll here. And as we reach the $100 worth of the $100 super chat level, once we get to that point, that unlocks the pig dog cam with the 2 pig dogs I've got here. They are waiting to resume their co-host duties. So whenever that happens, we'll fire up the pig dog cam and we'll unleash the hounds.
Release the hounds.
That's what we'll be doing. All right, let's bring up the video because this is a long one. Last one was an hour. This is this is about double that length. So we got some ground to cover. We got some grounds to cover. And again, this video is on the Crime Circus channel. Crime Circus. The link is down below where you can go to the channel and you can see the videos we're going to be looking at today. Drip drop from Crime Circus. He runs the 2 best police interrogation channels on the entire YouTubes. Make sure you go there to subscribe to him. Oh my God. All right. That was a surprise. Let's take care of this. Holy crap. Okay. That was $100 super chat right here from Sonia or Chris. That kicked us off. Holy crap. That triggered so many things right now. That gives you the foghorn. That gets you the foghorn for giving a super awesome super chat. Thank you so much. I don't understand why you people do this, but I love you all to death for doing that. It also triggers the $100 shot of whiskey, which today we have Scapa. Wait, what have I done here? Okay, let's see. It triggers the Scapa. I don't know if you can see the Scapa here. All right, we need to do this. I'm totally caught off guard. That's not supposed to happen. The Scapa whiskey, great Scotch. Triggers a shot of that because that's what $100 do. So cheers to you, Sonia Chris, for being such a super, super amazing, awesome supporter of the show. I'm touched. I'm at a loss for words. Love you, man. Cheers. And it also triggers this. Let's see. Who do we got here? We got Yoda from behind here. All right. And it triggers that little part of the show that we like to call Release the Hose. Here is my co-hosts for the day. That is Yoda. Yoda is staring at the space heater. And Strawberry is sitting up there looking out the window. It's raining outside. So it's kind of dark and rainy. And Straubs is just checking. Oh, nope. She's coming down. What's up, Strawberry? You knew you were going to be on camera, huh? You knew you were going to be on camera. All right, we'll futz around with that, and we'll get everything ready to go. I was literally not expecting this. I thought we'd kick back a little bit and take care of some other stuff, and I could just slowly work on this. But nah. Looks like we're going in strong here. All right. There's Yoda. We'll keep you posted. Oh, man. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Wow. Let's move on with the video, shall we? It's enough of me being all choked up. You guys are the greatest chat ever. But keep it coming. Let's see if we can get a double doggo cam. I have no idea what that'll be, but Let's see if we can get the double doggo cam. All right, and coming up again tomorrow, we're going to be doing the day 1. We're going to be doing the opening statements of the Hannah Gutierrez Reid trial. Friday's a special day. Friday, we're going to be doing what I like to call F it Friday. We're starting early. We're starting at 7 a.m. Eastern time, midnight. I guess it's noon UK time. And 9 p.m. my time. We're going to have a great panel of guests. We're going to go for 4 hours, and that is a griftathon. This isn't a griftathon. Friday is the griftathon, where every $100 that rolls in, I do a shot. We have a great panel of guests. We see how liquored up I can get in 4 hours. So bring all your money and throw it at my feet on Friday. Here's who we have lined up for the panel so far. The panel so far is Good Logic. Joe from Good Logic will be here. Comedian Chrissy Mayer, Aussie Overlord, Lady Law 579, Potentially Criminal Sean, Talk with Sally, Nick Starro, Ari Jacob, Megan Fox, Moxie Dame, otherwise known as Waifu Kron. That's who we've got lined up so far. There's a waiting list that's going on as well. We'll get people in as they can, and as they accept, as they ask, we'll take care of that. So make sure you're here Friday, and we're going to do that for 4 hours. And at the end of 4 hours, I'm going to make an assessment. If I'm still coherent enough to stream, we'll continue with the Friday Hannah Gutierrez Reid trial. If I have to tap out, then we'll do a makeup stream on Sunday morning. So that's what's coming up for the rest of the week. And then we're going to follow this trial right on through to a verdict. Without further ado, let's get into Hannah Gutierrez Reid.
Phrasing.
Yeah. All right, peeps. Let's. Let's go warming up. We almost missed it. Alan 69. What's up, my brother down under? It's my birthday today. Whoa, it's my birthday today, 22nd of February. I love you, Jeff. Mods and Jeff. Alan 69 is an OG. He's the OG of the OGs. He's one of the OGs. We'll give you a little shot here to say cheers to you, Alan. Your best wishes. Continue to just kick ass. You're awesome. You've gone through shit. You've survived shit. You've persevered over shit, and now you are the king of the shit. Cheers. Happy birthday to you, mate. All right, that out of the way. We are getting into it.
Obviously, we don't have, coordinating chairs in here. But
okay. What do you see here? What is here now that was missing yesterday? Yesterday, there was something very important missing, but now we can clearly see it in the picture today. Who's going to be the first one to notice what is here today that was missing yesterday? Yes, Jeremiah, Jordan, and Mansudu. Okay, we've scrolled up. Yeah. Iman Resu and Jeremiah Jordan came in simultaneously. A lawyer. There was no lawyer yesterday. She went for an hour, blathered and spilled her guts and said some incredible shit without the presence of her lawyer yesterday. Now, good thing is she's got a lawyer here today. This is 3 weeks after the first interrogation. So good news, she's got a lawyer today. Bad news is that doesn't negate all of the bad shit she said 3 weeks previously. That's still on the record. Anything she said can and will be used against her in a court of law. That was explained to her. They tried to explain that she can have a lawyer before they asked her anything. They tried for about 5 minutes to explain that, and she said she was going to go ahead, but she's got a lawyer today. So, well, whatever that's worth, it's better than nothing at this point. Nicola Maxwell says Jeff genuinely cares about this chat. I love that amazing community. I'm always I'm always watching. She's like the Monsters Inc. Secretary Roz. Always watching. Always lurking, creeping, and stalking. Love you. Love you too, Nicola Maxwell. You are pretty damn awesome, even though you can't say purple burglar alarm. Right. So what else can we see here? We see that she lost that stupid fringe dye she had on her. She had like her bangs were dyed like piss yellow. She lost that. Her hair is all one, well, the front of her hair is all one color. She lost the grubby clothes. She lost the peppermint patty look, the grubby clothes and crappy gray jeans and dumpy hoodie. And she's elected for a sensible black dress. And done. She got her hair did. So she's looking markedly better than she was during the first interview. She's got a lawyer with her. So, man, it's an improvement, but it's an improvement that comes 3 weeks too late. Let's go.
give me a couple minutes and I will be right there. Do you want the big one?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, okay.
No, it's not a dress. Sorry. It's just a black ensemble.
Okay.
It's a black ensemble. She's got the tight fitting jeans because she's a country girl. Or slacks or whatever they are.
An hour or a little over an hour. Kind of want to figure.
Okay. Okay.
I talked to your dad a little bit.
So he's talk to her dad. We shouldn't be listening to this. This is all attorney-client stuff here.
He said, yeah, she's doing good. She's holding on. I'm so happy. Good.
The what?
Closing good.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Really good. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So you're able to stay here tonight too, right? You don't have to drive back.
I I think I'm gonna drive back to Albuquerque, but yeah.
Oh, good. Albuquerque, I mean, not all the way to.
Yeah, no.
Now, who the hell cut her hair? Hey, she looks markedly better than she did the other
Long
day.
drive.
Oof,
Yeah.
4 hours in the dark?
No,
thank
no.
you.
You can't. She looks amazing today, comparatively. Comparatively amazing.
Oh, I know.
Night and day, says Flux.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Definitely.
And I was just texting Ted, and he was cool. He said everything was good. It's fine. Cool?
All right, we can skip over a bit of this.
It's okay.
80, I'm 2 right now. And I'm at least decently linked up there. Do you want
Here
water?
we go.
I'll take a water.
Yeah, please.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who? Lenny? Xana?
Oh, it's always good to look better. It's always good to look nice.
Larry,
That's not ringing any bells.
okay. I need to ask your dad. He was on
Okay, go on.
Yeah.
someone issues and some.
Don't care about this.
Well, you know, a lot of armorers right now are just talking absolute shit about things they don't even know about. Yeah, so it's really just the whole industry just.
Yeah, the whole
Everyone
industry
that
is
does
crapping on her, and kind of with good reason.
They don't know the story. Yeah, so I don't know. I wonder if he has something against my dad,
Yeah.
but
I'm wondering.
yeah, my dad and a lot of people sometimes don't work together, especially if they do the same thing.
Oh, I get it. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I get it in a professional, but your dad's so laid back. He's so cool. I don't know why
Her
he did it.
father is one of the
he's not laid
legends
back on
of
set.
Hollywood
I get it.
armorers.
He's like,
He's- Yeah, I love my
Trail
dad.
Reed,
I
Trail
hate
Reed,
him on
Oh, I'm
set.
sure. Hey, he's like my dad when he was in the job.
But
I can tell.
knowledge
Yeah.
and good armor skills are not
Definitely. He's
genetic.
very much hardcore on set. Strong personality for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's still very nice to people. Like not a jerk.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I'm a jerk.
Super
I'm
accommodating to
a
actors and
loser.
directors alike.
Yeah.
I'm usually not.
Well, you have to do your job.
Yeah. Mhm.
All
Yeah.
right, they come in here in about a minute, so there you go. And it's the same two investigators, I believe.
There you go.
That's the same woman that was sitting in the left corner. The first, nope, it's a dude this time. That's right, I remember.
Yeah.
Okay, so the investigator that was quiet over in the bottom left corner in yesterday's video, she's now taking over, and the other investigator, detective, she's gone, and dude is coming in.
Where's Alex at? Sam? I said, where's Alex at? I'm Alex. Oh, really? Wait. The other one was Sam?
Yeah,
Oh, geez.
yeah. She was assisting. I'm actually primary on this. And
Okay, I totally had you guys mixed up. Okay. I was kind of like out of it, so yeah.
oh, I think everybody was a little bit that day.
Yeah.
So it's formality. She signed this the first night. Okay, I'm gonna have you do it again tonight. Just that way, we're all in understanding. I know your attorney's here. This is your statement of rights. Okay.
Okay. Oh, thank you.
Now again, they're reading her rights. She doesn't have to answer any of these questions. She can assert her Fifth Amendment rights, but she does have her lawyer overseeing and watching her. So, I mean, he doesn't say a lot, if I recall this correctly, because I haven't watched this since I did the commentary on it way back in the day. But I if I recall correctly, he doesn't say a lot. But you know, she's already said shit 3 weeks ago, so not talking now. You know, what good's it gonna do you? She already hung herself metaphorically in Minecraft last interrogation she did. So, all right, we've all got here. The detective is trying to make everybody calm, trying to put everybody at ease, trying to be the good guy. And again, notice the table situation here. This is something that potentially Criminal mentioned when he did his stream earlier today, which is a thing. This guy hangs back. He hangs back. He doesn't crowd the table so she doesn't feel literally cornered and on the defensive. He's listening. He's taking notes. He's paying just as much attention as the lady that's taking the lead here, but he's given a little bit of space, letting her have a little bit of freedom, letting her think that it's not a confrontational adversarial situation. There's a method to this madness.
Do I check all of these?
Yeah, initial them for me.
Okay.
I like your necklace.
Thank you. It's actually a locket.
It's a trap. I don't have an Admiral Akbar. I've just got Chewbacca. So sorry. We can give you Chewbacca if you want. Hey, Will Call Magic, what's up? He's not checking her out.
Oh, what's the date?
It was the 9th.
Yeah.
Jeez. I don't even know what to do with this year.
Hey, Adriana, shame on you.
Yeah,
And if you
I
want
know.
to sign as one of the witnesses, and I'll sign as the other. She's fancy pins and all. Can make some of those here that way. Anybody asks?
Yeah.
All right, let's get the admin stuff done and let's get rolling. What are you doing, Dargy? Nice. Strawberry's taking up an offensive position in front of the. There we
So
go.
let's
What's
just
up,
dive
bud?
right into this. That way we can get you guys on your way. And we'll go from there. Do you have any questions for me before we start? Either of you?
No. How's your day?
You've been busy.
Yeah.
For sure.
How have you been since?
Busy and depressed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can imagine.
Mhm.
We've had a-
On get. She was like, let's cut the small talk and get on with the question. My client's
Yeah.
busy.
A little bit.
that more than anything.
Not really. Just, a lot of,
Again, this is just
Podcast,
pure
lot of
small
hatred.
talk.
kill
Pure small
yourself,
talk, just to put her at ease,
People
get her
are
to talk.
horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Mhm.
like at the end of the day,
Yeah, I'm just trying my best.
there's not
all
much
you
you can
do.
do, really. I like the change in color of hair. Is that your natural?
That was, that was what I got the most hate on. So I was like, it's just hair. I'll change it, guys. Yeah, so.
You want to know something really?
On advice of her
Really
counsel,
topic,
she has
right?
changed her hair color.
When I was in high school, I was a hostess at Hooters.
Oh my God, top,
and-
really?
They told me that I had to dye my hair
Woo, woo.
brown or blonde.
Yeah.
Detective
because there's
Hooter.
a
Detective
natural
Hooter's
color
on the
hair.
case.
Whoa, that's,
Yeah.
Woo.
Yeah.
that's ridiculous.
I was like,
Jeez.
no, thank
About hair
you.
color.
Yeah.
Detective
temporary.
Hooters.
Yeah, I was like, red is my natural color. Like,
Yeah, that's weird.
no thanks. But it was, back then there was a little different environment.
Yeah.
Only natural boobs too at Hooters, right?
Yeah, there you go.
Wait,
No,
wait,
I
what?
mean, to each their own.
What?
Yeah, no,
I would say that Albuquerque is not really the market.
For real.
All right, we've talked about boobs. We've talked about Hooters. Let's get it going.
Experience.
Mhm.
Oh my God, I don't remember that.
I don't think there was anything else that I had. Are you still living in Arizona?
Yeah, I currently am kind of like mostly leaving the state right now just because the press was getting nasty and everything. And it kind of dulled down after I left my house and everything. But yeah, other than that, just kind of came here and trying to stay out of the small town right now.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's hard to hide there from the press at least. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I think everybody's having a hard time with that. It seems like the only person who's been able to avoid them mostly is Mr. Hall,
Yeah.
but,
Yeah.
Yeah, for real. Crazy.
which is interesting because I'm pretty sure he's local.
Yeah, he's local, I believe. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, Alec is getting bombarded every day
A
too.
lot.
Yeah.
So, I mean, hopefully we can just
What are we smoking? What pipe is this?
Get
do with
past
it.
all of them.
This
Like,
is
it
a
amazes me, like, the
Vanelli
event that went on
Bent
this past
Churchill.
weekend.
Church warden pipe, sorry.
Like,
It's a
The
bent
Texas,
Savinelli. It's a Savinelli. It's a
Astro World?
Savinelli Bent
Oh,
Churchill.
yeah.
And we've got the
Like, how
HP
does that
Lovecraft inspired
Blown up like
C&D
this?
small
No.
batch from beyond.
I guess not.
All right, Hannah, so let's start out. I'm gonna kind of go over your experience again, okay? So can you tell me your years of experience as an armorer?
Okay, so pretty much,
That's 5 minutes
mostly
experience.
really started taking on this armor job in March with my dad. We did the movie Murder at Immigrant Gulch together. On the same team, I was his assistant. And then I did my own job as head armorer on the Old Way after that. And then after that, I did this, and before that, I had gone on a couple of things with my dad, mostly doing production assistant work, but also still kind of watching him and still kind of learning from him on the side.
Okay.
Yeah,
So,
I did Magnificent Seven like back in 2015, and we were out there for like 2 months, and I was learning a lot from him then too.
okay, so pretty much just assisting him.
Yeah,
From
it's
I have one of
2015
those,
until-
Kaiser.
yeah, pretty much.
until-
And
They're
also,
very nice
well, not
pipe.
like consistently either, because I was in college for a lot of that time.
Okay.
Yeah, so for a lot of before this, I was in college, so not really able to do the whole film set thing.
Okay. What did you go to college for?
I went to college for communications and film.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
I
murder.
also took a lot of art classes too.
So how many productions now do you have under your belt?
3 cinema, whatchamacallit.
Whatchamacallit? Okay, see, this is what she was doing yesterday. She didn't know she didn't know Alec Baldwin's name, for God's sake. She kept calling him Alex. She didn't know Alec Baldwin's name. She didn't know Halyna Hutchins' name. She didn't know Joel Souza, the director that got shot through Halyna Hutchins. She didn't know Dave Hall's last name. Like literally, her boss, and 3 of the most important people on the film, and the star of the film. Like literally, she doesn't. She must have a worse memory than me. She doesn't know much of anything about anybody. In chat, you caught it because I didn't catch it in the 2 times that I watched this. Joel Souza, she was like Joel Osteen, which clearly that's not who it was. Yeah, right, David Nelson. Yeah, so now she's like, yeah, I mean, she's actually assisted on I think 3 films, and this was her first as like the head armorer, but like 3 films, and she's like, yeah, that whatchamacallit film. Oh my God.
About 7, yeah. And then also I did a bunch in college,
And then how many with you as head armor?
Head armor, just 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that was
2?
This, Rust, and the Old Way, yeah.
Okay. How long did you spend on the Old Way?
We did that for
Okay, that was the Nicolas Cage film. The Old Way is a good movie, by the way. You should watch
Not that
it.
much time,
But I thought she was just
but
kind
it
of.
was only me doing the guns on it. So it was me, 22 guns, doing all of the loading and everything myself.
This is her second film as head armor. Her second film. I apologize.
Nick Cage got a little pissy because he forgot to put in his earplugs.
No, he got a little bit pissy because you were fucking around. I think that was the film where they were doing live fire. Again, I may be wrong. I may be misremembering, but I believe they were just plinking at targets and doing live fire. And there was some safety issues, and Nick Cage got pissed and hated her ass for it.
Yeah, and then other people were talking about the
John Gordon of the $1.99 super chat. Thank you so
that
much.
apparently weren't called out or anything, but I called those out actually, and
Bet
it
she was
really
high
comes
the whole
down to a
time.
miscommunication between
Thank you.
I told the AD who's supposed to spin the dials to the other channels and let them know that there's going to be live fire, and he didn't spin the dials.
So like radio communication?
Yeah, so our walkie-talkies and everything, yeah. Once I tell them that we're like going hot and everything, then he's supposed to spin the dials and let every different one know.
Okay.
So he forgot to do that twice on that.
But any, you know, like misfires, accidental discharges, anything of the sort?
No accidental discharges and no misfires actually.
As a man, it's those accidental discharges that get to you, you know. Those are the things you're hoping you never have.
Hey, phrasing!
Okay. What about any official training that you've done? In regards to-
Official training, not really much official training.
So just,
I was planning on getting my concealed carry permit pretty soon, but haven't gotten there yet.
okay. For what you do as an armorer, does this job require to use like specific tools when you're doing inspections on weapons?
So I don't really do the inspections on weapons too much. I'm not a gunsmith by any means, you know. I get them from Seth, like, you know, maintenance them and everything. I was cleaning a couple of them, and a couple of them did have some issues that I couldn't figure out. So I sent them back to Seth, and he sent them back to me, and they were okay.
Okay.
Nope,
So
she has
any
no
type
official
of,
training.
Like, malfunction or any?
There kind of really is no such thing as an armorer certificate. But there's really no such thing as an armorer certificate. But she didn't really have any training. She wasn't union. She was in the process of preparing for like the union tests or whatever they had, but kind of nothing. It was all informal through her dad.
Thing that you came across would go.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you're talking about Seth Kenny, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I sent back one of the
Yes,
guns
they are,
because
Kaiser.
the hammer was pulled back and it wouldn't release back down. And I don't know, he said something about I cleaned it wrong or something. I'm not sure, but I cleaned 17 other pistols that day, so I don't know how I did that one wrong.
Okay. Do you remember which one that was?
You know, that was actually one of Miller's guns and not related to the incident really, but Miller was one of the deputies and just one of his, the hammer got stuck back, and I've never encountered that before, so
Okay.
went ahead and sent it back.
Okay. So as far as like the movie productions go, do they require
Well, I beg to
you
differ.
to
Oh,
have
we're talking
certifications
about
to
guns.
work?
Okay, never mind.
And it can be like
Talking about guns. You're right.
You know,
anything.
I'm not really sure entirely, just
Sorry,
because most of the jobs I've gotten have just been like through word of mouth and everything, or like, you know, Seth works on getting them for me, or my dad gets them for me, or my dad got me on as his assistant the first time, you know, so I'm not really sure entirely what they are looking for. I know that they get a firearms license and everything, and a license for the area to shoot on and everything. But they usually get that. I don't even get that usually. So
Okay.
I'm not really sure in terms of what else. I know that Seth always tells me that I'm on his license to work with these weapons, and that's all I really know.
And that's kind of the same with Sarah, right?
Yeah. I'm not really sure what that's ever meant. Seth always just says Hannah and Sarah are on my license.
Okay. But as far as like you go, there's no
No one really asks about much of that.
like you don't have to take safety classes in regards to anything with movie sets.
So that's the thing. I was actually just getting into the union, and with the union and everything, because on this set they hired me non-union.
Because you're not in the
But
union.
normally with
That's
the
why.
unions, you take a safety course, you take a sexual harassment course, and you take a few different things. And I had like literally just gotten the paperwork and everything to get in that. And you need 30 union days on a union show before you can do that. And so I had 22 before this job. And so a lot of the days from this job were going to count towards that.
Okay.
But yeah, so I wasn't even able to get that. But for other than that, like the whole industry doesn't really require anything. It's mostly just California or union, and I wasn't union.
Okay. And so Russ wasn't like, you know, like I obviously have to have a cert to be a cop.
Yeah, no,
And
totally.
take, like, you know, every year I got to take like driving courses and shooting courses and everything like that.
Yeah, no, totally. Yeah, no, Russ didn't really ask me anything about that. They kind of just conferred it all through Seth.
Okay. So I heard that you were hired to do a couple jobs on this set.
Yes.
Can you talk about or tell me about both of them?
Okay.
Okay, now this is actually a thing. We'll talk about this here in just a second once she talks about the 2 jobs she had.
So, like originally when I got on the set, you know, I have always done armor kind of really separate from props. Like I'm always with props, but we do it ourselves, me and my dad, and props doesn't really interfere. This is the only job that I've taken where I was heavily incorporated into props, and it's because originally they had hired me for armor and key prop assistant.
Okay. She was hired to do 2 jobs. One was to be the armorer, and the other was to be a prop assistant. Now, we talked about this when we went through the contract, when we went through the civil complaints, when we went through, like, you go back into my stacks and stacks of Alec Baldwin related videos. There's an Alec Baldwin playlist on my channel. You can go back and check out this video. But essentially, she was given a certain number of hours. There was a woman above her. Her name was like Pennywise or something like that. Penny or Penelope. I can't think of the woman's name off the top of my head because I jokingly called her Pennywise. And that's all that stuck in my head. But like the person above her, who was sort of like one of the bean counter types. Pickles, that's who it was. Mexican Vader. Thank you so much. Her name was Pickles. Like Pennywise was somehow funnier than Pickles. That's right. It was Pickles, Ms. Pickles. She gave a certain number of hours that Hannah could operate as the armorer. And like, I think it was 1 or 2 days before the shooting, she was told by Ms. Pickles, your time as armorer has expired. From here on out, don't do training, leave Baldwin alone. You focus on the props, stop wasting time. Your armorer time has expired. Which is one reason why I think this Pickles chick should have been charged. She was the one that was specifically told her not to do her job as armorer. So yeah, so she was hired to do these 2 jobs, and she was basically told just before the shooting, don't be an armorer anymore. Focus on the props. But kudos to her, she still maintained some function as an armorer. Excuse me while I cough. I'm sorry. Yeah, so that's a bad thing. Your armorer should be your armorer. And of course, the armorers are under the prop department because they're working with props. They're working with things that are used in the film. But they should be functioning independently and focused exclusively on making sure shit like this doesn't happen. So this is what happened. She was doing 2 jobs, and she was being specifically told not to do the job that is the most dangerous. I mean, that is supposed to protect people from doing dangerous things and getting killed. Okay, we need to talk about this again. We talked about this yesterday. We need to talk about it again. Alec Baldwin was a producer on the film. That is true. But if you go back and you look at the contracts like we did in an earlier day, his producership, his role as producer was specifically limited to finances. He had nothing to do contractually with hiring people, firing people, doing any of that. The hiring and firing was not him. Under his contract, it was specifically limited to a financial producer. So he was just in charge of gaining and spending money for the film. So yeah, she wasn't an agent of Baldwin. She wasn't employed by Baldwin. She was employed by the film company. He was a separate producer than the casting producers. So that's kind of that's a thing. Right. Yeah, he's the real victim. Just ask him. We got a couple super chats and things here to get through here. All here. I'll bet she was high all that week. We read that one already. And Adara the Wholesome got a super chat in. We almost did a phrasing. We need to do a bell ring. You should invite law of self-defense. I think there's more to this. Alec trained on guns for over 20 years. He knew better and feud with victims before this. And you also said, with another super chat, want to know what Andrew thinks? A lot of shady BS. Okay, couple things here. I won't be inviting Andrew because Andrew's going to be streaming this himself, but watch here. Don't watch it. Watch me. We tried to find a way to work so we could joint stream together, but my time zones and the way I have to run the trials just are not conducive to that. But he's not going to say anything different than I am. Everybody is in general agreement that this is a shit show. And Alec Baldwin had more than 40 years professional acting training with guns. And as we've talked about before, he's been around guns since literally the day he was born. His father was a high school shooting coach. That was literally his father's job, was to train people and coach people in high school to shoot weapons. In fact, his father, and look it up, if you don't believe me, look it up, Alec Baldwin's father died of lead poisoning. He died of lead poisoning. That's how much he was handling ammunition and guns and hanging out in gun ranges and shooting and coaching shooters. He died of lead poisoning. So yeah, Alec Baldwin has been around guns from basically the day he was born. And if you watch Alec Baldwin's video, which like I said was the very first Law Racks video that was posted on Legal Vices, that was the thing. He started out going, I'm just a dumb actor. I don't know why. It's not my job. I don't know how to tell. And within 20 minutes, he's laying out, okay, this is how you tell all the rounds apart. And this round does, the dummies look like this and do this. The blanks, they look like this and they do this. The live ammunition does this. And this is how you tell them all apart. So he went from I don't know anything to I'm an expert to I don't know anything to I'm an expert. Alec Baldwin futzed himself up. So I would suspect that Andrew's not going to say anything different than I or Runkle or anybody else that's talked about this is going to say. So to save y'all a lot of time, be here for the trial because this is where you want to be, bro. This is where you want to be, brother. All right. All right, let's go. Thank you so much for those super chats. Adara the Wholesome and Haley Wolf says, has there been any civil case against the people that hired her? They are at fault too, in my opinion. Oh yeah, there's civil cases. There's civil cases. The civil case with the Halyna Hutchins family has been settled, but there's other lawsuits. And see, this is the thing. People are like, I'm not going to watch this film. I hope nobody sees this film. This was a shady shit thing that the film company and Alec Baldwin did when they settled with the family of Halyna Hutchins. Part of their settlement, I'm sure it's basically under wraps and confidential, but I'm assuming there was a bit of a financial pay, like a cash lump sum payout, but also part of the compensation is a percentage of the box office take. So if the film fails, the family of Halyna Hutchins gets nothing but if it does wonderfully, if it does amazingly well and makes $1 bajillion, the family of Halyna Hutchins or her surviving, her bereaved husband and child get a percentage of the box office. So on the one hand, I don't want to see it because Alec Baldwin's a dickhead and he doesn't deserve he doesn't deserve any benefits whatsoever from this movie. But on the other hand, I want to see it to make sure I put a little bit of my money into the coffers so that I know that at least a percentage of that goes to the family. So that's kind of the conundrum, which I think was a sneaky, shady, underhanded, shitty thing to do, to link the success of the movie to their compensation for the loss of their wife and mother. So they're basically blackmailing people into seeing the movie. I hate that. I hate that. All right. Thank you so much for that comment, Haley. And Daily Quick Bites. From all I've gathered, Alec Baldwin, who is worthless, totally worthless, was trying to do the film on the cheap, and so running a kid ragged sufficiently to have affected her performance. Like I was saying, this woman, Ms. Pickle, she had set this budget to where, okay, you get, I think it was like 40 hours as armor or something, and that was all used up, and she was told a day or two before the shooting to stop being the armor and just to focus on her job as prop assistant. All right, we got all that out of the way. Thank you so much, everybody. Let's jump right back into this.
And that's not just like prop assistant, that's the key prop assistant. So that means more responsibility. That means I'm Sarah's second.
Okay.
in a lot of cases. So if there's an issue with props, you would go to Sarah, and then if there's an issue where Sarah can't, isn't there, then it goes to me.
Adriana says, I like heavy metal.
So I have
Great music, super awesome
my job
movie.
is the armor, and originally I thought that I was mostly going to be doing my armor job and kind of left alone to do that. But after the first week, I got talked to by some people in production, and they were told that I wasn't really pulling my weight in props. So basically I was told that I needed to shift my focus less on armor and more on props.
Who do they expect to take on the armor role?
Oh, look, CKT, it's almost like you're a goddamn psychic. You asked the question that the police are asking right now. Who did they expect to be the armorer when they told you not to be the armorer? You're on point, KT. I like the way you think. You should be a fed. You should be a cop. You should be an investigator. I like the way you think. Let's see what the answer is. Are you curious? Let's go. Let's see what the answer is. Who do they expect to be the armorer if you're not doing it?
I don't know. They said, yeah, we hear that you're taking your armor job very seriously, but we need you to support props right now because props is also struggling. And I was like, okay,
See, and I don't understand how this pickle did not get charged for saying this shit. This is negligence. Well, this isn't even really negligence. This is an intentional act to create danger on the set. I don't know how she didn't get charged. And to this, and I'm trying to remember when we were speculating, I went native Utah there. When I was speculating, they said they were looking to charge 4 people. I assumed they would charge Baldwin, Hannah, Pickles, and Dave Hall. What? Doggy, stop that! Doggy, no, that's your brother. Don't do that. Sorry, I'm sorry. Y'all had to see that. That was traumatizing. No. What do you have to say for yourself, huh? Don't be licking your lips, you trash dog. Don't be licking your lips. Oh my Lord. Sorry, everybody. I apologize that you had to see that. I expected Baldwin, Hannah, Dave, and Pickles to be charged. What I thought would happen was they would charge Hannah, and she would see how clearly the writing was on the wall. She would flip, plead guilty, or you take an immunity deal to rat on Alec Baldwin for his fuckery. That's what I thought would happen. But Dave Hall's instantly pleaded guilty. Pickles didn't get charged, and her and Baldwin are going to trial, it looks like. So it didn't pan out the way I thought it would. So, all right, let's get back into the shit show.
I'll try my best to do that. And they said, normally before that, I would kind of just hang out in the prop truck and work on the guns and just kind of be in there doing my own stuff if there weren't any guns on set. But after that, they had told me no, we want you on set. We want you as a present on set for props.
Okay.
Yeah, so was split up quite.
Do I have a Targaryen event? I don't even. What is a Targaryen event? We just invite a lot of pale people and their dragons. I don't know what is a Targaryen event.
Bit.
Can you give me some examples of what you would do, when you were assisting props?
Okay, yeah. So normally, I kind of, for the saloon scene, I would just kind of be standing there, watching over the guns and everything, checking them for the actors as I brought them into the actors. That's just my job as the armor. With the saloon and everything, I'm pouring drinks for props.
I was pouring drinks for props. She was the fucking hostess. Oh my Lord. That's what she was doing. She's running the saloon. She's pouring drinks for people. That's more important than making sure people don't get killed. So yeah, I get that. Okay. I wasn't thinking as degenerate as you folks were. But that was they're Lannisters. They're not Targaryens. Cersei and her brother were Lannisters, but the Targaryens, that was their deal. They were all about the inbreeding too, to preserve the bloodline. But Yeah, Targaryens. Yeah, there we go. Targaryens marry their siblings. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, they weren't marrying. They weren't doing the marrying. They were just doing the Lannister shit. All right. Enough of this Game of Thrones. Let's go.
I'm running outside and rolling cigarettes. I'm like doing several different things and grabbing several different props and setting props up constantly. And so, yeah, when some
look, Lois Thomas says, lawyer really helping her clean up her narrative. I said the lawyer's quite good. I mean, she said everything bad at the previous interrogation. I mean, really nothing is going to help at this point. I mean, advising her to not answer questions or, just, I mean, you can't say answer the question this way but you can tell them to be cautioned, to be careful, but it's not going to help at this point. She self-snitched to the ends of the damn earth in her first interrogation. So really nothing is you can't go back and rewind that. Nothing is going to help.
Scenes aren't exactly super prop heavy, and sometimes they're just kind of gun heavy. And so in that case, I can focus more on the guns, but sometimes I was split between running the guns and also dealing with the props. But Nicole, the assistant, tried to help alleviate that a little bit, but not every, she was pretty green. So
yeah, so are you.
Step in a lot.
Okay.
Yeah. Mostly I thought that I was there doing props at the beginning just to help find everything, because we got hired on a week before. Normally you hire the prop master a month in advance. Sarah got brought on a week before. I got brought on a little after her. And so we were just kind of running around that first week trying to find props. And then I thought after that, after she got the assistant, I'd be able to focus more on the guns. But then production talked to me and said that I needed to focus more on props. So.
Okay. And who from production?
Gabrielle Pickle, and
Gabrielle
also the head of the art department, Brian. Mostly, yeah, Sarah just said that I couldn't really support props in the way needed. So they were talking about possibly I was talking to them and I was like, well, do you not want me to do props at all?
See, and this is kind of where I sympathize with her. She is saying the right things, right? I remember what she says after this. This is a very, very good point, and this is something that I think she's making a fair point with this. And I kind of feel bad for her a little bit here at this part. Before we get going there, we do have Adara the Wholesome with another super chat. Vibrax, the real OG, #LawRax for life, represent blood. Thanks, Adara. And the DZV Titan, still awaiting the parody, A Game of Tyrones. No. Nobody is waiting for the parody, A Game of Tyrones. No. Chat, you're the best chat on YouTube, but sometimes you disappoint me.
In this case, and just focus on the guns. And they were like, no, we don't want Nicole stepping up and taking your position. We want you to step into this position, and we think it's a great opportunity for you. But really, I just got to do 2 jobs for less pay.
Yeah. How did you feel about that added responsibility?
It was a lot, but I'm super eager. And when someone kind of says, you can do this, then I'm just okay, now I have to show them, I can do this, So ultimately, it was frustrating, but at the same time, I was like, all right, got to go and kick ass and props now, I guess, too.
Yeah. Did you ever
What's up, Liz?
Time that specifically pointed out to you where you felt overwhelmed by doing that?
Well, props, we were told a lot, that we were kind of lagging, and the Wranglers would kind of shit on us for not propping up horses soon enough, or not getting actors propped up soon enough. So props was definitely struggling. And then after that talk I had with Brian, I went to Sarah and I was like, I'm not pulling my weight,
I didn't say that,
and
because
I tried to talk to her about it, and she was like, yeah, I didn't mean to be a jerk about it. I just wanted to let them know that I needed more help in the department. And so we talked about it, and I was like, well, that's cool. Just maybe next time, go ahead and talk to me first before going to Brian and Gabrielle.
Do you know why they didn't utilize Nicole more?
Well, we definitely did utilize Nicole, but ultimately I have a very strong personality. And also a lot of the times, like, my personality would even be stronger than Sarah's in a lot of respects. And a lot of people were already kind of gaining respect for me, like in terms of like, the Wranglers and everything. And I'm just good at meshing with other departments,
Okay.
So they wanted me on set more just to kind of, be a presence of props and really, kind of just be a demanding force.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you ever express to them at any point if you felt overwhelmed or?
After that, I thought we were doing pretty good of managing both. There were some days, where I would talk to Sarah and I was like she would be like, could you come out here and see what's going on with me? And I was like, no, dude, I need to like focus on guns and I need to pull guns for later on.
See, again, this is like where I feel kind of sorry for her. She's told not to be the armor, but she's still doing it. And she's telling people, I've got to focus on this. The shit I'm dealing with kills people. I need to be doing. So on that level, she understood that what she was doing was important. She understood that her job was necessary and that people's lives are in the balance. So I kind of feel sorry for her in a little bit in this isolated situation here. But I mean, it does not absolve her of all of the other massive amounts of failings that are attributable to her. But damn, she kind of, in her inexperienced, young, green ways, her heart was in the right place, even if her mind and skills weren't. And I wanted to bring this up just at kind of a non-humorous moment. Omni-Stash Gaming says, I'm sure some of you are aware, if you were in Nick's chat last night, my grandpa was found unresponsive last night, keeping him sedated until his daughter can get there. Hopefully he'll last that long. I'm very, very sorry to hear that, Omni-Stash Gaming. The condolences to you. I hope everything is peaceful. I hope she gets there in time to say her goodbyes, and hope the passing is quick, painless, and a relief. Because when my mother died, that was kind of the feeling when my brother called me and said that she'd passed. My feeling, just because of her situation, was finally. Thank God, the pain is done, the suffering's done. I don't know the situation surrounding it, but I hope from here on out the passing is painless, quick, and surrounded by family.
And she would be like, well, you're the second. I think you should be here with me on set to watch this. And I was like, there's not a lot of props out there. I'm going to be here doing the guns. Okay. So there was a couple of times, but I also kind of really held my ground on not, spreading myself too incredibly thin.
Or getting overrun by.
Incredibly thin is not a phrase I would use
just have to
describe her.
But ultimately with higher positions, sometimes you get ran over.
Okay.
Like me, I would describe myself as built for comfort, not built for speed.
I believe, I'm not really sure. Steph just texted me and he's like, you got the job, prop assistant, so-and-so. I sent him my resume and Sarah sent it in, and I think Ro approved it. And yeah, so Sarah hired me, Ro approved it.
Okay. So it's not like a typical hiring process for a job where.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, there's no real interviews like any time in film. Film is a very weird industry.
Word of mouth.
Word of mouth by all means. I think it's so weird how like secretive it is almost, like it's really hard to get on anything unless you know somebody. And if you stop working for a while, it's like almost hard to jump back in it.
Yeah, it's not secretive. It just requires a high level of skill.
You can't just like look up like film jobs in your area and then go and apply. That's not a thing. Yeah. I really wish it was kind of like that. That would probably, that'd be a lot better. But right now there's just such a media surge, especially that, they're just kind of getting on anyone that they can bring really, because the media surge with all of these different, like the networks and everything coming out with their own little internet things. It's making everything like boom right now, like crazy.
Yeah. I know you had talked about how you were in the process of becoming a union member.
Yeah.
With which union?
I was working on becoming a union member with the local 44.
Okay.
That's the oldest and longest established union, and it's also the one that my dad's a part of. So
is that like international or?
I'm not really entirely sure. I know it's mostly California. You know, each union is kind of specific to the area. Yeah, I think that one is the most put together one, and it's definitely the most active one, which is why I was trying to be a part of it. And I had already actually started the like kind of OSHA safety one a little bit after this, actually. So I had already been starting that.
Yeah, how'd that work out for you?
Like,
how did that work out
a
for
little
you?
bit before that into the program.
Okay.
Ooh,
So
silent
as far as your
PS.
employment
Exactly.
on Rush,
Hard to
were you
wield
hired on a
authority when
contract?
no one
Or
respects you.
how?
I was
how
hired.
did it
Now, again, talking about this wielding authority and respect, I want to invite everyone to go back into the playlist and look at the Jensen Ackles interview. We talked about it again yesterday. Dude takes his job seriously. Dude takes his weapons seriously. And dude respected her as the armor on set. She was treating him, you know, like a dummy, like someone who'd never touched a gun before. He kind of jokingly said he had, for some reason, also she had no idea who Jensen Ackles was. Like, if you're not watching Supernatural, what the hell were you watching? You know, she had no idea who he was and didn't know he had any experience with guns. And he basically said in his interview, it's her job to explain things to me. So I pretended I didn't know anything and let her explain it to me. He was very humble, very, very articulate, very, very careful, very respectful to her and her position, and followed her instructions, gave her the respect of her title. So kudos to him. And like I said, we will at some point, like at lunch breaks or before or after, if they start late one day, so we'll watch the Jensen Ackles interview again.
I was hired on a contract, yeah. You know, the contract wasn't really specific to the job per se. The contract was just like regular employee contract. Jason has a copy of it.
Okay. Is there any way I can get a copy?
Sure, yeah, I'll send that.
Yeah.
Besides you and Sarah and Nicole, were there any other armorers or prop masters or anybody brought onto the set at any time?
I don't believe so. Not anyone brought on the set. I don't really know if Seth ever came to set, but he was the mentor on the paperwork and everything, and he was like where we got most of our stuff from.
Okay.
Yeah.
But no one else ever worked with you guys? They didn't do like a late hire?
Oh, so they did bring in one girl for swing shift, but I don't even know if she ever made it to set or if she just met up with Sarah outside of set.
Jensen's on the boys? I haven't seen the boys.
Finally, week 2
If he's
is
on,
coming
I'll
around
watch
and we told
Cool.
them like,
All right, I'm gonna watch the boys now.
busy. We can't have Sarah leaving set to go find these things. So they brought in a day player that could run around and go find things for us.
Okay.
Because before that, Sarah had to leave set a lot of the time. Oh, that also contributed to spreading us thin for a little while there. That's why they brought in the third person, because ultimately Sarah would have to leave set pretty much every day for several hours, and then it would just be me out there.
And what would Sarah go do at that time?
Sarah would go try to find props, because with them bringing her in a week, you know,
Props
it's hard
to
to
Sarah.
find like a weird Indian axe, you know, like there's a bunch of weird, obscure things for a period piece that are super hard to find. So she would go try to find them, meet up with other prop masters in the area and see if they had them.
Do you know who that fourth was?
You know, I think her name was Jade.
Jade.
Yeah.
You think? Does she doesn't
Yeah.
know anybody.
I was hoping for her to come more on set, but yeah, they just hired her as a day player every now and then.
Okay, so as far as, and I know some of this that we've talked about before, some of it might be a little bit redundant.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
just trying to cover all bases. So again, who provides the ammo?
So as far as I'm concerned, me and Sarah, we went together and we picked up the ammunition and all the weapons.
As far
and
as I'm
my leathers
concerned,
from Seth Kinney in Albuquerque at his shop. Yeah, we got 2 boxes of ammo, I'm pretty sure, that day. And then as we went on in the show, there were a couple of times that we needed more. So Sarah and I would text him, you know, that we needed more. And occasionally Sarah brought in more ammo from Seth.
Okay. Those 2 boxes that were originally supplied, were they blanks or dummies?
Originally supplied.
You said that you picked up 2 boxes of ammo.
Oh yeah, so I
Or
think
do
there
you
was,
mean like boxes like the white boxes?
no,
or
they were like bigger boxes.
Okay.
For sure. Yeah, no, a lot of them were, there wasn't a lot of dummies in those really much at all. There were some dummies, you know, like obscure dummies that we couldn't really get, like
this guy's not a dummy. That's the dummy.
50, 70 rounds, you know. I don't know if you're familiar with those. Those are big rounds. They go in the trapdoor. So we had some of those dummies with it. But in terms of 45 long Colt dummies, I don't think there was a lot of dummies in there. And so I asked Seth about it, and I said, hey, like, where's all the long Colt dummies? Because the 45, you know, is 45 ammo.
Okay, quick stop here. James Andrew Morrison says, weren't the actors bringing live ammo onto the set so they could shoot bottles and cans during breaks? That was a rumor. It was unsubstantiated, and it has been proven that that was not a thing. That didn't occur. That was just a rumor that started.
Like, different than 45 long Colt. So we didn't exactly, I couldn't find that. So he told me to check the dummies that I had from the last show because he got me those ones and everything. And so I went back through a bag that I had. This bag had like a bunch of loose dummies in it. And I went through and I checked all of them and I put them into 2 boxes. And so we had 2 boxes of 45 long Colt dummies that were mine from the last show. Originally. Yeah.
Okay.
And I had just brought those off of the old way, and they were in my car for like 2 weeks. I jumped right off of the old way into this. I was barely home for like a week. So yeah.
But he told you to check your supply.
Yeah.
And what you had to take it.
Yeah.
So he authorized you to bring.
He authorized me to bring, dummies.
Okay.
And then also there was one time where he didn't give us any eighth loads, and I had 1 box of eighth loads, and so I was like, I'm gonna use my box of eighth loads, put it on the invoice, and I would have received money for that.
For blanks.
No!
Blanks, yeah,
Hang on.
eighth load blanks.
Okay.
There he's caught in the headphones. Ah! No! Fuck!
No, I don't really plan on it, given the circumstances.
Okay, we're back.
Because usually that goes through Seth, and then Seth kicks me down with whatever.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Sorry.
how many
Strawberry got
rounds-
caught in the
2
headphone
boxes
wire.
kind of hard for us to, we're just trying to understand. So how many rounds would you say were supplied at the beginning?
You know,
Sorry, baby.
might I check my phone really quick? I think Seth sent me a picture of like it written on cardboard or something.
Okay.
Or actually, if you look at the boxes, I think the boxes,
On the flap.
on the flap should say it.
Okay.
Did you see that at all?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't.
That's okay. That's what Seth showed me. So that same thing, that's what should have all been in there.
Okay. And so you and Sarah picked it up at the beginning
Yeah.
of production.
Yeah.
From Albuquerque, brought it to set, and then
but we couldn't exactly bring it to set right away because they hadn't had the prop truck ready for us. So we had to leave it. You know, she had the guns in her car in Albuquerque. I had the ammo in my trunk at the hotel, and then we just took them to set the next day.
Okay, so it was less than like
Overnight, yeah, just
24-hour
overnight.
period. It was like multiple days.
Multiple days of what?
I was just gonna say, for Sarah to keep all those in her vehicle in Albuquerque, that's a
Okay.
bold move.
Well, and it was only one night, and she had a garage.
Okay.
So that's
Oh, well,
why
they were in a
ultimately
garage,
she
so
was
that's
like, do you want them to
okay.
go with you or me? And I was like, you have a garage, you know? I know. I told her. Spike was all like, get those and get out. And I was like, hell yeah.
So when you guys brought additional rounds on the set or additional.
Like she's all bougie. Like Sarah's all bougie because she's got a garage. That's like the Simpsons lawyer Lionel Hutz. Oh right, watching what was it, L.A. Law or whatever. Oh yeah, right. Like all lawyers have belts. So he has a garage. Ooh.
Additional boxes. Or
By the way, storing ammunition in your garage, that ain't secure.
needed more. How did those get delivered?
Sarah brought them in most of the time. I never saw Seth.
Spoiler, Law Tube Junkie. How could they not have a gun safe on set? They did. They did have a gun safe on set. Yup. And her and Sarah were the ones that had access to it. Yeah.
That's after the first time that I saw him before the show.
Okay. So did Sarah, do you know if she went and picked him up from Albuquerque, or how did she get them?
She lived in Albuquerque, so most of the time she would just run and grab them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm not sure if she got any more from anyone else. I had heard that some of the dummies were borrowed from someone. I don't know. She said, don't lose any of these because we have to give them back. And I was like, okay. They
Yeah,
fall
but
out of the
still,
gun
there are
belt and
safer
everything, but I'll try not
places
to lose them.
okay.
than your garage.
And then how much did you supply of your own?
Of my own dummies?
Yeah.
Just the two. And we mostly went through those right away just because
Ooh.
2 boxes, 2 of the little boxes, not like big boxes, just the little boxes. And yeah, I had 2 of those, and most of mine had the no primer caps, the ones that I showed you, remember?
Is it the ones that are like indented?
Yeah,
in?
so
Yes.
they're not
So a
getting
lot
their
of those
dummies
were
from one
mine,
source.
and
They're
then
collecting
also,
them from their personal
I
stuff,
had a
from other
multitude of
sources.
the ones with holes and the ones you shake. So yeah, and I checked those all, and I put them into 2 things
Okay.
myself. Yeah.
Do you remember what those boxes look like?
Yeah, I do.
I just happen to have a picture.
They usually say JS on them.
Okay.
This is one that my dad sent me. And mine are usually beat up pretty bad. Like they're very dirty and
dirty,
gross,
naughty bullets.
usually. Okay.
Naughty
You know,
dummies,
JS
dirty
stands
dummies.
Joe Swanson.
Okay. Have you met Joe?
I have not, but him and my dad are pretty good friends.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So as far as ammo goes, who has access?
They stay in the truck, like
Jake 80 buck. We don't need no stinking badges.
We are federales. You know, the mountain police.
If you're the police, where are your badges?
Badges. We ain't got no badges. We don't need no badges. I don't have to show you any stinking badges.
you know, the only thing that's in the safe is the guns. So yeah, pretty much, I don't know if they locked the prop truck at night or what happened with that.
The armorer doesn't know if they lock the prop truck at night.
But yeah, so pretty much just me, Nicole, Sarah, and the first week we did share that prop truck with locations.
Okay.
But other than that, the prop truck, you know, would kind of be open most days just because we're running in and out of there. And sometimes, you know, ammo is underneath on our cart, just chilling there usually.
Like on the floor of the
On the
truck?
box, no, of
Or
the
on-
cart.
Okay, on
Yeah.
the second shelf.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
I usually try to keep it down there.
So all the ammo is pretty much out in the open.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, unless it wasn't like taken out directly of the boxes or anything, then yeah, the ones that are out there are out in the open pretty much regularly.
okay, and they never get locked up in a safe.
No.
Okay. Were all the guns provided by Seth?
Yes.
Biff Thundermuff, and she's trying to leave a
And
window
who has
open for
access
someone
to
else
them?
to have messed it with. Yeah, they
Sarah
talked
and
about
I,
an
and
unknown
I
mysterious
believe
Mexican
Nicole
wandering
kind of
around
knew
set. Yeah, they went for the brown
the
guy.
code, but
did
I
it.
don't think she remembered it most of the time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did she ever remove the guns from the safe?
I had her put them away sometimes,
Okay.
mostly just because I couldn't leave set.
Okay.
Yeah.
And does anybody watch her do that?
No, not really.
You should.
Is she allowed to?
Mostly somebody has to lock them up and they shouldn't be on set. So, you know, Sarah or I would give her permission to go over there and just put them in there.
Okay.
Yeah.
But that's something that you guys are allowed to do is give someone else permission.
I would think for a prop assistant, yeah.
Okay.
She only put them away ever.
So who all has the ability to lock the safe?
I mean, anyone that has arms, like, can close it. You
So
know?
that you don't
Anyone
have
that
to
has
put in the
arms.
code again to lock it?
No.
So you
Or
turn the
like-
knob and it's done.
Yeah.
Or they're like amputees, like double
What about
amputees
the
that
truck?
don't have arms, so they can't shut the
Who has the
safe.
ability to lock the truck?
You know, none of us lock the truck ever. We figured that's kind of like Transco's job. We don't have locks for the trucks normally. I know some prop masters lock up their own trucks, but yeah.
So her safe, which may or may not be locked, is in the prop truck, which they don't lock because that's the transportation guy. That's the truck owner or the truck driver's responsibility. So it's pass the buck, pass the buck, pass the buck.
I'm not really sure. We kind of just closed ours up every day.
Okay. Do you know?
I don't know if Transco ever locked it.
Okay. Do you know who was in charge of that truck?
Not specifically.
Okay.
I don't remember his name.
It was a male though.
Yeah.
Can you describe him?
He was a sweet old Hispanic man with
There
a
you
nice
go.
mustache.
There's the three old Hispanic men thing. Here's the random brown guys walking around the set. I bet they did it. The brown guys are responsible. Which brown guys? Oh, I don't know. Just three old brown guys. Nice, Hannah. Go with the three mysterious brown guys defense.
Okay. Have you said midway?
Midway.
And he was the one primarily in charge of that truck.
Towards like the second week, yeah. Before that, we kind of just had random people moving it. And then eventually he got assigned to us pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah.
In the morning when you got there, was it ever locked up?
No.
Okay. So you just walk in.
Walk in and pull the handle.
Okay. What about the back of it? I know it's got one of those big.
Yeah, that's what we normally did. Yeah, we just closed up the side and we would unlock the handle. We figured it was usually getting watched by security.
Do they just have security, and it's okay if you don't know, but do they just have security at that front gate there, or do they have?
I know that I've seen some security around other parts of set, like just in a car, but that was mostly after the incident and everything, and it was just a car near the church.
Okay.
So that's really all I know about the security measures.
All right. So you'd say, as far as ammo goes, it is common to have it outside of that safe.
Yeah, no, it's super common to have it outside of the safe.
Okay. Who loads the ammo into the guns?
Me and Sarah.
Okay, you both load them.
Yeah.
And who loads ammo into like the bandoliers or the belts and?
That's me and Sarah again. I think Nicole helped us a couple of times shaking them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did she ever like actually load them, or did she just shake
Into
them and say they're good?
And she would shake them and put them into the belt with me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you know how often, or should I say, when did you guys put the ammo in the bandoliers?
A lot of them already had it in there. So from the last Nick Cage set and everything. So still check those ones out and everything. But we, of course, had a couple more that we had to like switch around and everything. So mostly the whole first week, we were switching them around. And then after that, we did have a couple more characters come in with different, waist sizes. So we would have to like put them in other belts too.
So some of these belts already have rounds in them.
Yeah,
Okay. Do you remember which one?
no. They mostly got switched around a lot, and a lot of them fell out pretty regularly out of
The
the,
rounds in them?
yeah, the dummy rounds would fall out sometimes just because when they're riding the horses, they jiggle out.
Okay.
See it wiggle, see it
We
jiggle, see it
regularly
fall
have to
out.
put more in them.
So since some of this ammo came from another production, was the ammo in those belts ever checked?
Yeah,
So you guys physically removed them from the belts
yeah,
and checked them?
yes.
Okay. And who all did the checking?
That was me. That was involved in the 2 boxes that I did.
Me, I checked it.
At the beginning?
Yes.
All right.
Fall out of the bandoliers. You know, they have like the
So,
bandoliers around their
when
chest, around their
ammo's
waist. They
not being
jiggle and
used,
fall out.
then-
That's what she's saying.
Does it ever go back in a box? Does it stay?
When ammo's not being used,
When Emma's
if
not
it's
being
about to be
used.
used, it's there on the bottom of the cart. Like if we're gonna get into it later that day, we don't really have time to run back to the truck. So we usually keep it right there if we're shooting that day.
We don't have time to go back to the truck and take the ammunition out of the safe, so we just keep it there on a little cart next to us where we leave it unattended as we leave the set to go have lunch every day.
If we're not shooting that day, it doesn't really come on set. I'll usually bring like maybe a box of quarter loads just in case they randomly decide that they want to shoot something.
Chewbacca has
Because
a
they'll
bandolier.
change their mind last minute, and then you have to be prepared for that.
Who's they?
Directors, actors, whoever just like feels like maybe I should be shooting right now, kind of.
Okay. So when you go to unload the belts or the guns, anything of the sort, does it go back in a box?
The belts,
The
like
ammo?
we don't ever take once the dummies are on the belt, they stay on the belt, and the belts just get hung in the prop truck.
Okay.
Like, yeah. And then for the guns and everything, yeah, we take all the dummies out if it's dummied up. And then, of course, we take the blanks out, too.
But where do they go?
They go back in a box.
Okay.
Chewie
Or
has a
sometimes the
laser
dummies,
crossbow.
They'll go on the cart, on the top of the cart.
Okay. So would you say that ammo's ever mixed?
The dummies.
Okay, Island asked an important question here. What's a quarter load? Okay, you know, like a live ammo, you know, a live round, like a real pew live round will have a full load of, we'll call it gunpowder, and a half load will only have, it'll be a blank, but it will only have half of the gunpowder of a real bullet. So it makes a louder noise. A quarter load means it'll only have a quarter of the normal amount of gunpowder. So it makes a quieter noise. That's more just so you can see the smoke coming out of the gun and things like that. So you have like the quarter loads, the half loads are for more, you know, for louder effects. And then the full loads, they have a 3/4 load as well. So that's kind of what it is.
Using the blanks.
Or just, you know, various kinds of dummies?
Well,
No, it's not.
various
It's
kinds
nothing
of
like a
dummies,
half
yeah.
chub.
Like I told you, all dummies are kind of weird and individual in their own way, pretty much. So yeah, they were mixed pretty regularly.
Okay. So it's not like, you know, I say, hey, I take these rounds out of here and they have to go back in that specific box because
They mix the rounds.
No,
What could
they just
possibly go wrong
in
with
a dummy
that?
box,
okay.
in a box of dummies.
So our actors or crew members on set, are they advised to self-inspect weapons?
I'm not really sure. Most of the time when they tell me, like I'll go up to them and I'm like, here, and I show them it's clear, they'll be like, it's okay, I trust you. I say, don't trust me, you know, go ahead and always check for yourself.
Okay.
But yeah,
Are they required?
See, that's the thing is that anytime anyone gives you a weapon, it's your personal responsibility to check to make sure exactly what's happening with that weapon. Think of it this way. People in chat, all 400, do we have 400 yet? Oh, you got 409 of you. All 409 of you here in chat that think maybe if you think Alec Baldwin was like justified in taking her word for it because she's the armorer, she's supposed to know. Let's say an armorer or me or your best friend on earth who has your best interests in mind gives you a gun and says, point this gun at your head and pull the trigger. I promise you it's safe. It's got dummy rounds in it. Nothing will happen. I promise you it's safe. What are you going to do? Are you going to go, okay, friend, bam? Or are you going to go, wait a minute, okay, I know, or are you going to say, well, let me check it out myself before I put the gun to my head and pull the trigger? Yeah, none of you would take anyone else on Earth's word that gun was perfectly safe and unloaded and it non-fireable and nothing bad would happen if you put it to your temple and pull the trigger. That's essentially what Alec Baldwin is saying he did. It's her job to know when I trusted her. No.
Self-check.
No, not really.
Okay.
But I do show them every time before I hand them off to them.
All right.
Show them that the gun's clear.
Have you seen any of them do their own safety checks?
Yes.
Okay.
Jensen Ackles did his own safety check.
Jensen does his own safety checks.
See, and that's what he said. Jensen said, in his interview, he said, I don't care who gives me a weapon. The first thing I do when anybody gives me a weapon, I dry fire 6 shots into the ground. He cycles through the cylinder to make sure that none of them are live rounds. He does his own damn checks, as any responsible person would do.
Travis does his own safety checks. Travis Amell.
Everybody but Alec Baldwin does their own safety checks.
Devin was getting into doing his own safety checks because I taught him how to do it. So he was kind of getting better at that.
What would they do to do these checks?
Pull the hammer back to half cock, spin it around, and close it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So not pulling it rounds out, checking them themselves?
No, not really.
Okay. Has it ever been common practice for actors to do?
I'm not really too sure.
What about on your last production? Did they ever do their own?
Nick Cage definitely did not. He barely really cared to train with the gun at all. A lot of actors sometimes will barely care to train with the gun at all and think that they'll just do it on the day. But yeah, no, not a lot of them take it out and check them.
Okay. When you or somebody gives a gun to an actor, do you tell them like, hey, these are the rounds that are in this gun? Like, do you tell them it's hot or cold, and then what kind of ammo is in the gun?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that question?
Yeah. So
I tell them, all right, so this is a clear gun if there's no dummies in it, right? If it's dummied up, I show them and I say this is dummied up, and usually I have the dummies that have no primer cap in there. So I'll show them that. And then if it's hot, I'll tell them it's hot, and I'll tell them 4/4 loads or 4/8 loads or
they do 8
whatever
loads as
is
well. Okay.
in the gun.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I let them know exactly how many is in there. And I put it exactly to where they'll shoot it and it'll go for that time.
Okay, real quick here. I don't want to delay this too much. We were talking about the old guns not having safety features, and Bruce Rivers showing the gun in question at the firing range did indeed have a safety built in. What this particular model had is, if you pulled, like Alec was saying, I pulled back the hammer and then it just somehow went down and fired. This particular model, if you pulled the hammer back on the gun more than 25% of the way, more than a quarter of the way back, it would lock into place. And the only way you could get that gun to fire would be to pull the trigger. It's not like one of those deals where you can just fan the hammer and go because you just like flap it back or pull it back and let it go. It had these built-in safeties at 1/4 and 1/2 and I think 3/4 as well. So the FBI was doing their inspection of the gun, and they literally broke the gun, the actual gun. They literally broke it trying to make it do what Alec Baldwin said it did. So yeah, once you pull it back past the 25% mark, that's the safety feature. It will not go back and hit the primer unless you pull the trigger. So yeah, everything Alec Baldwin said is bullshit.
Have you ever allowed
Brandon Herrera's demonstration is actually a very, very good one. It does not do what Alec Baldwin said it in that. Brandon Herrera, he actually does 2 demonstrations with this weapon. They're both incredibly good.
access to anyone for any of these firearms?
No. Like for using them on set or?
For any purpose that
Well, I allow the,
outside of what their scope was.
no.
Like after hours, during lunch,
No.
you know, days that you guys weren't.
No, me, Nicole, and Sarah ate lunch together pretty regularly, pretty much every day, except for a couple of days where I would sit at another table or converse with some other people. But yeah, we all went to lunch together. We all locked them up every day at lunch, and we all locked them up every night. And I definitely didn't go to work on my weekends because why would I do that? You know,
Right.
I want to be there as least as possible. Yeah.
Don't we all?
Yeah. So yeah, last weekend I was in Denver the first weekend actually. So yeah, then the other one I was just relaxing at my hotel.
Did you spend any time with anybody on the weekend?
Yeah, I spent some time with the nice boy at the front desk at my hotel. He was nice.
Spend some
I hung out
time with the
some crew
hotel
members.
boy.
We went bowling one time. And other than that, I didn't really hang out with people outside of set too much. And I kind of went and did my own thing in Denver the week before. We haven't really been there that long.
Okay. Did you go out, just did you go out with the crew one night to, I think they said like some brewery?
Yeah.
You can't sit
Yeah,
with
we went
us.
to the brewery downtown after bowling.
After bowling?
Yeah.
Okay, and that was on a day off though?
Yeah.
Did you have work the next day?
No, that was Monday. We worked, we had Monday, Tuesday off.
Okay. Do you remember which Monday it was?
It was the last Monday before the incident.
Before the killing.
So 20th was the incident, I believe, on Wednesday, 21st. So
The 11th,
the Monday,
Columbus Day, is that a holiday?
Or would that be the
No.
18th?
Yeah, it would be the 18th.
Okay, so you were off that Monday and Tuesday.
Yes.
And then we're back.
Yeah.
Okay. Have you yourself, and not just on this side, but have you ever encountered a defective blank or
A defective dummy.
Yeah.
So, I've had a couple of blanks that haven't gone off, but usually that's because the actor doesn't pull the hammer all the way back. And so it'll just be at half cock and.
All right, that's the end of part 1. Again, thanks to Crime Circus, Drip Drop over at Crime Circus for putting together these amazing videos. They're very well done. He's the king. He is the king of interrogation videos. Let's bring up number 2 here. Let's bring up the second video. Not the second video, part 2. Right. Let's fast forward through this. All right. We'll give his whatever.
People accidentally shot on a movie set.
The filing says officers later found.
Hi, Today Show. Don't strike us. There we go. The crime. We'll let the Crime Circus logo stay there. And while we're doing that, let's do a little bit of a mid-ish stream grift here. Where's Doggos? Where are we? Okay, this is what we want. All right, guys, we're going to start part 2 of the second interrogation of Hannah Gutierrez Reed here in just a quick second. But first, I want to just point out there's 421 current viewers here. Sorry, I'm choking on my own saliva. Just a second. Choking on your own saliva. That takes skill. Yeah, we got 424 concurrent viewers and 314 likes. 110 of you haven't done your job, at least, probably more. Everybody that has not hit that like button and is somewhere near their phone and not driving, please reach down there and hit that like button. It takes like that long, costs you nothing. Completely energy for, well, like an infinitesimally small amount of energy is expended to hit that like button. And while you're down there, hit the subscribe button. We are going to be following this trial from gavel to gavel. Probably right now, as we speak, they're getting ready to begin jury selection. Opening statements are scheduled to start tomorrow, and we will be here. We'll be covering it gavel to gavel in my own super awesome special style. You guys could be anywhere on planet Earth, doing anything, watching anything, or doing nothing, but you've chosen to be here right now, and I appreciate that. I really, really do. I don't take any viewers for granted, and I'm here to give you quality review of the Hannah Gutierrez Reid interrogations, and tomorrow we'll start the trial. And Friday, we'll have our F Friday stream where we have a great big panel of guests. We're going to go for 4 hours from 7 a.m. or 7 a.m. Eastern, noon UK time to 4 hours. We're going to go 4 hours with our F Friday this month. It's where we just say F it. I grift from it. It's just a griftathon. I encourage all of you to empty your bank accounts and your wallets and everything else and to throw all of your money at me in exchange for me. Every $100 we do a shot. But while this is going on and while I'm becoming intoxicated, hopefully it's all up to you, we have a great panel of guests that we just talk about whatever is on our minds. The guests we have lined up so far are, where's our guest list? Our guest list so far for the Legal Vices February 2024 F Friday stream is Joe from Good Logic, Chrissy Mayer, comedian extraordinary, Hayden Ozzy Overlord, Lady Law 579, potentially criminal Sean, Talk with Sally, Nick Starro, Ari Jacob, Megan Fox, and Moxie Dame. Also, the artist formerly known as Waifu Kron Jess. And we've got others that are waiting. Oh, and as we speak, Steph the Alter Nerd has said, I will try to join you. So Steph the Alter Nerd is now officially a definite maybe. And we've got other people, like I said, waiting in the wings to fill any gaps and whatnot. So we're going to have a great time. Don't miss that. We're going to do that for 4 hours. And then I'm going to have to do a little personal assessment. If I'm completely wasted and unable and to fulfill my duties as Lorax, and just can't do a stream, we'll tap out and do a catch-up stream on Sunday. But if I'm good to go, if I'm still semi-coherent, if I'm semi-coherent, then we'll go ahead. We'll do the F Friday drunk stream for 4 hours, and then I'll just stream the Hannah Gutierrez Reid trial in an intoxicated situation. Oh, and I've just got a text message from we've got a text message from Flux. Flux says, I can join you for like 20 minutes before work on Friday. There you go. So Flux is now officially in as well. Super duper awesome, Flux. Thank you so much. So add Flux as a definite, at least 20-minute join, and Steph the Alter Nerd as a potential. So that's what's coming up on Friday. And then, like I said, after we do the drunk stream, I'll have to decide whether we do the day 2 of the Hannah Gutierrez Reid trial then, or whether we delay it until Sunday. We'll keep you posted. All right, let's jump back into this. We've got about another, oh my God, this is 2 hours and 19 minutes. Why did I think it was like, oh my Lord. Oh God. Yeah, we ain't watching all of this tonight, peeps. This is a 2 hour and 20. I thought this was also 54 minutes. Holy shit. We're going to watch 30 minutes of this. We're going to go 30 more minutes. And then we'll watch bits and pieces of her interrogation during breaks in the trial. That's what we're going to do. I miscalculated that. Yeah. So, all right, we'll watch 30 minutes of this. And then, like I said, while we're waiting for court to start, during the 15-minute breaks and what have you, during lunches or whatever, as long as I'm able to, we'll watch bits and pieces of the interrogation. So there we go, folks. Let's get down to the last 30 minutes of this, shall we? It's game on. Let's get it on. Embiggen. Part 2 of Hannah's second interrogation. The armor on the Rust movie set with her attorney. Interview 1 and 2 available at Crime Circus.
Have you yourself, and not just on this set, but have you ever encountered a defective blank or
A defective dummy.
Yeah.
So, you know.
Okay, a defective blank is not going to kill someone because nothing comes out of the, there's no projectiles come out of the end of the dummy round. I mean, out of the blank round. Except for like some of the older ones, like a cloth wadding would come out for a very short distance. But now they just kind of crimp the ends and nothing is expelled other than a bunch of hot gas. I mean, if you put it right to your temple and pull the trigger, then you're in trouble. But any distance, you're going to be fine. So a defective dummy under normal circumstances, a defective blank under normal circumstances is not going to harm anyone. A defective dummy ain't going to do shit. Well, I don't even know what a defective dummy is. All dummies are by definition defective. They don't have gunpowder in them. They don't fire. So I don't know what a defective dummy is. That doesn't exist. By definition, dummies are defective. They're not live ammo.
I've had a couple of blanks that haven't gone off, you know, but usually that's because the actor doesn't pull the hammer all the way back.
Alec Baldwin
so it'll just be
pulled
a
it back.
half cock, and so when they shoot it, it won't ignite it. And I usually just say like, oh, it was a misfire, to kind of save the actor's face a little bit in that case.
Mhm.
And then in terms of bad dummies, I had never experienced a bad dummy.
There's no such thing as a bad dummy. They don't exist. Except for you. You're a bad dummy.
Standard protocol, like if one of them's defective.
The dummies or the blanks?
Either one.
Okay, so if the blanks are defective, you know, usually I'll just take them, I'll put them in my pocket, I'll save them for later, and then if I'm curious enough, I'll just go ahead and like shoot them and be like, okay, yeah, they didn't pull the hammer all the way back. Or if the dummies were defective, I guess I would put them in my pocket and just save them to later and check them out.
Okay. Have you ever, in your history of working, encountered live rounds on the set?
Never.
Except for this time.
How do you know that?
Let's
Because
bring up
every dummy I've ever
closed
shaken
captions.
has been a dummy, and the other ones have holes in the side, and I've never experienced a round that looked like a dummy and behaved like a blank or anything. So yeah, I am shaking all of them most of the time. So.
Okay, see, that's the crux there. During her first interview, she said, I shook every round, which was an absolute lie. And what she's talking about is shaking them. Dummies that aren't visually distinguishable, which many of them are. They don't have the primer cap in the back, or they have the primer cap that has a dent in it. It's no longer going to do its job as a primer. If there's not a visual way to tell, and sometimes even if there is a visual way to tell, the empty casing will have a couple of BBs in it where you can just you can shake it and it'll rattle. You'll hear it rattling. So I shook bullshit. If you had shaken every one of those dummy rounds, you would know that the one that was in the chamber and 6 others, if I remember correctly, were in fact live ammunition. So clearly she's lying here. But during the first interrogation, now here she says, I'm shaking all of them most of the time. Most of the time, not all the time. I'm shaking all of them most of the time. You know, it's those times you don't where the fuck ups happen.
And then I know you've said this a million times, so just do me a favor, go over each round and then how the rounds work.
Each round of blanks?
Yeah, and dummies. So I know that
Okay.
there's obviously a couple different kinds of dummies.
All right, yeah, okay.
You don't have to go into
No,
every
that's okay.
specific caliber or anything of this sort, but just
Okay, let's, all right. So, a lot of the dummies, the ones with primer caps, those ones mostly go in the belts and everything. A lot of the primer caps are punctured most of the time, you know, because they get hit while they're in the gun. So those will go in the gun sometimes if I don't have the other ones. There are some with holes in the side that also still have the primer caps and everything. And then there's the ones with no primer cap, and there's a hole in the side sometimes too with those, and sometimes there's not. And mostly I like to put the ones with no primer caps into the guns, you know, just to make everyone feel safe. And then for the other ones, those go in the belts, you know, and the ones that have the primer cap and the hole in the side are good for both, really.
Okay. And then
For all the loads, yeah, all right. So for all the blanks, all the quarters, so there's 8 loads. Those are the super quietest ones. And I just worked with Brian Armstrong, that little 11-year-old on the old way, and I had her use those. So especially if it's someone that's really young and new with the guns, I'll make sure that there's the smallest load possible, which is an 8. Some horses require 8 loads. Most of the time I'll put the box and I'll put horsey rounds on them in my own handwriting. So that way I know.
And are those the 8?
Yeah, those are the 8s. And then sometimes, you know, I will, if it's super close proximity and inside 8s too, but quarters also work for inside proximities that are close. And then on top of that, for the quarters, around kids, around horses too, that's like the last size pretty much allowed. And then we do the half loads if it's going into like a rifle, or if we're outside, like we did a lot of half loads on the show because a lot of it was outside. And then for the full loads, it's very rare still that I use a full load, unless like an actor is just really weird and wants it. Alec only wanted to train with full loads because he wanted it to look realistic.
Well, Alec, it looked pretty fucking realistic when that round went through Halyna Hutchins and into Joel Souza, didn't it? How's that for looking real, Alec?
And most of the time I'll use full loads if it's a really big gun, like a trapdoor or something.
My big gun
rifle.
uses the full loads. That's all I'm saying.
You want to make sure it looks realistic.
Okay. Were all of these
phrasing?
for us?
Fulls were used for us. Some of my 8s were used for us. Quarters were used for us, and halves were used for us. Yeah.
Okay.
So it was really a variety, and just depending on the situation.
Okay. And then, is anyone allowed to bring their personal firearms on the set?
No.
Did you see anybody bring personal firearms?
No.
And did you ever see anyone bring ammo?
No.
Did anybody ask you about going target shooting?
Yeah. The Wranglers made a joke about it one time to me, and I said something to the effect of, well, you can try, you don't have the ammo.
Okay. What did they say? Do you remember?
We don't need no
Not
stinking
really.
ammo.
I don't really remember what they said.
But they insinuated about shooting an actual round.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that they were joking, though.
Okay.
A lot of boys on set will be like, oh my God, can we go shoot the guns?
Yeah. So no one pressured you into.
No one ever seriously pressured me into it.
What about Sarah?
What about Sarah?
Did she ever mention anything about
Shooting? No. Sarah, yeah, no. She never mentioned anything about shooting, and we left every day at the same time and pretty much got there just around a little after each other.
So as far as safety protocols on set,
That sounds like a spicy. That sounds like a spicy round to
do
me.
you recall
Yikes.
any sort of safety protocols during the time of the production?
We had a couple of safety meetings. A lot of days we did not, which.
And you should have a safety briefing every damn morning. Not a couple.
Normally it's typical anytime that there's firearms or live animals on set or open flame, you do a safety meeting. So a lot of those days we did not have a safety meeting. Other than that,
Who hosted them?
Huh?
Who hosted those safety meetings?
Dave.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you remember what they were about?
Guns, the guns and everything, we also said, you know, because actors will leave guns around sometimes, they'll forget them. So we always told people, you know, like, don't ever touch a gun if you see it, you know, because Jensen totally left his on the snack bar one time. Yeah. And we found that pretty promptly. But
isn't your snack bar down at base camp?
no,
Where was it?
it's on set. We can't like go all the way back to base for snacks.
Well, so I was like,
No, our I think you're thinking of the cafeteria.
Yeah,
where we
maybe that's
went.
it.
Yeah, no, we have Crafty on set, really close to set most of the time. Yeah.
I was like, oh, that would be interesting. You're talking about the snack bar, like the little like trailer that has all the.
No, it's Crafty. It's just a table on set with like nutritious bars on it.
Hell yeah. I know all about snack bars.
Getting towards movie stuff.
Admiral Snack
Oh,
Bar.
yeah.
That's what my friends call
I
me.
love when they have the trailer. Yeah, those are the legit ones. This one was like.
I'm totally stealing that nickname. Admiral Snack Bar.
Yeah,
I like
they
that.
barely let her make soup for us. They barely let her make soups for us, and she had to fight hard for the soup. I called Becca the soup angel. She fought hard for those soups.
Did you ever see safety bulletins?
Where would they be posted, I wonder? You know, sometimes they would put some things in the call sheet, you know, like some safety bulletins and everything.
Safety bulletins.
I think they would pertain to COVID. They would pertain to, you know, like firearms on set. They would pertain to live animals. Yeah, it's usually kind of like in red on the call sheet.
Okay.
Other than that, they would sometimes in an email, like put it in red, like anything you needed to know about the day.
Call sheet in red.
I think I might have some of those emails still.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you want to grab those? Because that's, you know, obviously.
Yeah.
A big. Who distributes? Because you guys would get call sheets the night before.
Yeah.
Right.
Tim Becerra usually sent them out.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is his position?
He is also an assistant director, but he's more of the type where he is never on set and his only job is sitting in the office and creating these schedules and doing all the paperwork.
So he's normally out.
Yeah, he's normally never on set, that poor boy.
All right. Who would you say is in charge of those safety meetings that were being held?
Dave, and then the first time we did it, he let me speak. Yeah, and I told people, you know, like, these are regular weapons we have on set. Don't stand in front of them. Don't point them at anybody.
Don't. Are you listening, Alec? Alec, are you listening? Don't point them at anybody. All right.
And then after that, the only other one we had was the day of, and Dave kind of just covered most of that.
Okay. Do you remember what he talked about today?
Not entirely. He just told everybody, like, you know, we do have like blanks on set. We are going to have a lot of gunfire today. Real guns on set. No one touched them, you know, things like that. And also things about the horses he told.
When did you host the safety meeting?
I never hosted one all by myself.
Okay. What you said that he let you do it though?
He let me hop in on his.
Okay.
Yeah, he said, Hannah, do you have anything else to add? And I said, yeah. And I said, let's be safe, you know, like, no one be standing in the way of these things, and just like, don't be, if it's pointing in that direction, don't stand in front of it.
Biff Thundermuffin, the newest member of the Legal Cases and Sober crew. Thank you so much, Biff Thundermuffin. Your support is truly and graciously appreciated.
Second day that
Thank you so
we
much.
started on set filming.
Okay.
So yeah.
So what do you teach actors or crew members when it comes to gun safety?
So it really also depends on the actors too. You know, like big ones like Nick Cage, if they tell me if they tell the director, like, you know, that they don't really care to do it, I can try to teach them for the most part, but like a lot of the times they might not even listen to me or really.
Now, see, this is the thing, and it may be extreme, and she may not have had the confidence to do it, but you are the armorer. You are literally in charge of the safety and preserving the life of everyone else on set. If you get some cocky nut job like Nick Cage apparently is, which doesn't surprise me, or some douche canoe like Alec Baldwin that thinks he's better than fucking everybody else, you need to have the confidence to go, I'm in charge of the safety. I'm in charge of training you. You know what? You don't want to have the training. You don't want to have the safety breathing. I'll tell you what, we ain't shooting. We're gonna hold up the production as long as you refuse to be properly trained. You can do the training and we can get on with filming, or we can shut this shit down right now. She needs to have that level of confidence and dominance and control. She clearly didn't have it, being a young 24-year-old who was essentially on her second film as a head armorer. You can shut that shit down by saying, no. I'm not releasing any guns. I'm not giving you anything until you take the safety briefing, until you take the training. But water under the bridge at this point.
Really pay attention or be on their phone. Alec was on his phone a lot of that entire thing. But for the most part, they put me in training this time. It was pretty irregular how I trained actors this time. This time, they put 9 people all together in one day that I was supposed to train. And during this time, they put a ton of producers right there. Normally, I train the actors one-on-one. It makes them feel comfortable. It allows them to not be distracted and everything. And this time they had me training 3 people at once, and a ton of producers behind me. The director is there too. The producers are talking to the actors. The actors were distracted even too.
That's your job to go, hey, producer, director, I know you guys are important, but I need to do this. Let me get through this. The faster I get through this, the faster you can do your shit. Now let me do my thing, and then you do your thing.
And I tried to do my best to work with all 3 of them. I worked with Jensen. You could probably see a video of him saying, like, she showed me, like, this is how you check it. This is how we make sure it's safe. So I try to do that standard same thing every time, show them how to check their own gun and show them how to make sure it's safe. And then I always I have them draw it a few times, with nothing in there, make sure that they have the draw down. Usually a little before that, I'll have them like just fire off a couple of quarter loads, so they can get the idea, not drawing it from their thing, but just holding it and firing it so they can understand what they're going to be doing. Okay. And then after that, we work on the actions that they're going to specifically do. So, if I know that they have a scene and everything, we kind of talk it out together and like how they would run, pull it out, what they could do, how not to let it fall on the ground.
Uncivil law, Kurt
how not
and
to,
Chad. Hey, brother, what's up?
Rocks get inside of it. Yeah.
Makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
What about safety rules? Do you advise them any of those?
Safety rules such as I tell them all the time, not to point them at each other.
Well, that's a good safety tip.
To everyone in front of them, I'm like, if you don't have to be here, don't be here.
Yeah, don't point the pew pew at your
other
friends.
Than that, safety wise, I tell them to keep their finger out of the trigger guard unless they're ready to shoot, because that's how a lot of accidental discharges will happen. And that's just what my dad.
It just happens.
So
accidental discharges happen to the best.
Keep their finger out of the trigger guard, and yeah.
Okay. Besides you, were there any other trained armorers on the set?
Nope.
Sarah was kind of trained by Seth.
No, she wasn't. If you listen to Sarah's interview, she's like, I knew nothing about guns before I got here. She was not a trained armorer.
Yeah. I believe Sarah did a show before, and I think that there were 2 guns involved in the show.
That's not an experience.
And Seth trained her personally for that.
Okay.
And then I also kind of showed her what
don't
to
bail
do
on us
at the beginning of it to make sure that she wouldn't have an accidental discharge. But she still did, so.
Yeah.
Oh, we're talking about guns. Oh, okay.
So
Never mind.
before any
I was talking about
gun
something. Okay, we're
scenes,
talking about guns.
even
Yeah, that
just like
accidental discharges
rehearsal
don't
or
happen
filming or anything of the
in
sort, did
guns.
they do a brief?
You know,
Yeah, guns.
sometimes
Yeah.
sometimes they would have time to like really go into it and everything and like kind of, you know, work out the action. Sometimes they would do like an overall one, you know, where they kind of just say like bang, 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 bang. So we did have some rehearsals.
On the door,
sometimes, you know, there wasn't always
baby.
rehearsals.
Bang, bang.
Okay.
Love Shack.
So
Bang.
sometimes, yeah, we totally had like rehearsals, usually the big ones, and we just kind of have people go bang, 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 bang.
On the door, baby. I'm never going to stop saying that.
So what it's been referred to me as the show and tell day, where you brought out
Yeah.
pretty much everything, right?
Yeah, we brought out every gun that we had that Seth gave to us, and the director really just wanted a lot of options for people, especially because there are so many big names on this. So he wanted to be sure that all the actors knew that it was possible for them to switch around their guns, and that just because we had thought that they would look good with that gun doesn't mean that they were stuck with it.
Okay. Can you go into a little bit more detail about how this day played out? Like,
no,
where
that
did you guys
that
set
was
up
the
this
South
table?
African
And
Paralympic guy
Yeah.
that bang bang through the
So
door.
the day played out. We go to the edge of the town and everything.
What was his name? The only thing in my head is Jaco Pastorius, but he was a bass player.
They set up a table. They set up an easy up for us, and
was the
prop
Olympic?
truck
It was the
coming
Paralympian
later
dude
that
that
day, so
blasted
that was
his
finally the
wife with a
first day that we
shotgun
got
or
to
girlfriend with a
get the
shotgun through the
prop truck
bathroom
going.
door.
I brought a gun safe in my tiny Hyundai, fitted in there, and so I
Oh, it
had
was
that with
Pastorius.
me right next to us. And I
Jaco
kept
Pastorius was one of the greatest
all the
bass players ever
ammunition
lived. It
in
was
my
Oscar
trunk
Pistorius. It was the
and everything, and and Sarah had all of the guns in her trunk, and so we took all those guns out of the trunk and we put them on the table. We had 2 tables.
Yeah,
so
he
we
just
had
got
2
released a
tables
little while
filled
ago.
with long rifles, short guns, a lot of guns. And then also once the show and tell was over, Joel was pretty cool. He was happy with everything. After that was over, he stuck around, and then like I think the first couple of actors showed up for training and everything, because I remember they said like, okay, you're gonna have
great
3 at
movie.
this time and like 3 here and 3 there, and I was like, all right, like that's kind of manageable. And it is kind of manageable, you know, and it definitely, I've worked with 2 at a time before. 3 is manageable, but like also then all of a sudden with the actors, all these producers came, like a ton of producers. And so the producers are just kind of behind us the whole time. The guns are out there. We put a lot of them away that we didn't need for the training that day. So Sarah put a lot of those away, and we just kept those in my car because I had the safe, and ultimately I was going to put them in the safe at the end of the day. And then so the actors came, we started training and everything. And then all of a sudden a producer just like jumps into the training because I guess he was also firing, but they didn't schedule him for me. So at one point I was training 4 people at one time, which is a little chaotic. Yeah, so
I'm there. But when you had them all out on the table, how many people would you say were there, like max at a time, that were
probably like 10
messing?
10, and like not everyone was really allowed to mess with them, you know, like a couple producers like would ask if they could touch them. Ultimately, I always get pissed at people if they touch them without my permission.
Okay.
Joel, I let do that. You know, Joel is the director. He can touch them. But yeah, other than that,
HR might not want
most
her
people
to touch
were there,
them.
and most people would be like, wouldn't even ask to touch them. Yeah, good like 10 producers were there.
Okay.
Yeah, and Gabby and Ro were there at the beginning, and eventually like they left with kind of everybody.
Okay.
And then towards the end of, so at the beginning of the day, I was supposed to train 6, and then I had an hour-long break, you know, and I think I was there from like 9 to like 2 or 8 and 9 to 2, just training actors pretty much the entire time, and doing the show and tell. And then so I trained 6 of them then, and then plus that producer that they threw in there randomly. And then after that, an hour went by and I trained Devin and I trained Miller. And yeah, and the last guy didn't show up.
Okay. Who was the producer that you trained?
Nathan.
Do you remember his last name?
So if we're talking about Full Metal Jacket here in chat. So if Gunny Hartman was on the set, just imagine if Gunny Hartman saw a live round, I imagine it would go something like this.
Holy Jesus. What is that? What the fuck is that?
No, not really. He was on set a lot. He was like a nice younger one, kind of.
Okay. How long would you say you spent with each group training?
With each actor, probably like 30, 20 minutes or so. Yeah, usually I like to work with the actors one-on-one and get like a full 30 minutes to an hour in, you know? But that's just not how it went on this one.
Who made that call?
Gabrielle.
Okay. Did she give you a time limit?
She just put 3 people together. Like, she scheduled it like that, and she said they had other things to do and had other, you know, they had to go and do training with the Wranglers. And a lot of this training was like the day before. Yeah, they're like, ride a horse now, and now you get to shoot a gun, and like, yeah.
You get to shoot a gun off a horse.
Yeah, honestly, this is crazy because a lot of the times they have actors.
See, again, like this detective is very, very good. She's an amazing police officer. She is, as you guys have been commenting here in chat as it goes on. She's got her arm leaned up against, you know, over the back of the chair here. She's had her leg up on the chair a few times. She's crossed her legs. She is so calm and relaxed again, like it was yesterday. It's just a couple of girls talking, and people are asking, well, why is her lawyer just sitting there, you know, like a potted plant? She already basically intercoursed herself at the previous interrogation that was done on the day of the shooting when she didn't have a lawyer there. I mean, her lawyer saying, you know, telling her not to answer questions or, you know, that ain't going to do anything at this point. She's already self-snitched to the point. Like I said, the 5 minutes into the interrogation, they could just shut it down there. They got everything they need. When she said, yeah, my job is to check all the weapons and yeah, it's all everything is my responsibility. They could have shut it down then. So he's not going to do anything by saying don't talk or don't do this or you know it's. He does say a few things later on, but mainly just, you know, she said all the bad already. Literally nothing she said today makes it worse.
Actors start working with the horses like months in advance because you can grasp the guns a little quicker than like a weird living animal and all that stuff.
What?
So yeah, they didn't have people training on horses well in advance for this either, which I thought was pretty wild.
Another total off subject, but I was, you know, we brought Jensen in here and spoke to him, and I found out that the gentleman who provided the horses for this set, I used to actually be a wrangler for him.
Oh, really? That's fun. Isn't he so cute?
His horses are terrifying.
Yeah, no, the horses are scary. I honestly, I was trying to get out of Westerns because every Western I'm on, a horse almost kills me.
Yeah.
Shit you not. Like, horses back up crazy. And, like, no one even said, like, not to walk behind the horses on this. And I was like, Sarah. I was like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, you know, I was just, like, the complete lack of just, like, yeah.
Yeah, I used to wrangle for him.
Yeah, I love Raleigh. He's a sweetheart, but yeah, the horses are bad. But honestly, like, it's been a long time since I've been able to work with any really good horses because I have been doing independence. You know, no one can afford like the good horses that Magnificent Seven had back when I was there in 15, you know.
Well, he used to do all kinds of like trail rides and stuff like that too. But I mean, I can tell you, like, because he goes, when they do trail rides, they go up, you know, that mountain that has a cross on it down at the end of Bonanza.
Yeah.
So I used to take the horses up that mountain.
Yeah.
And I just remember one day he put me on a thoroughbred that came on the track, mare. And
Bonanza was a great show.
Like,
Rip
She
everybody.
was hot. She was a hot horse.
Yeah.
And so he like slightly drugged her up before
Oh, wow.
this trail ride.
Yeah.
And like,
I remember a couple of the horses.
She was.
she was off in her own world. We'll just say that.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
a couple of the horses got loose on this. One like made a full ass run for it like 3 times during one scene. They did their best they could to catch it, and eventually they started catching it. But like it made 3 good runs like right past the bathrooms, and I was like, oh my
Oh, thank
god,
you.
that's gonna hurt somebody.
I love horses, but
I don't
I
like
like
horses
BDH.
because of westerns. Westerns have made me not like horses. Horses and guns just suck.
Hannah, are you a certified firearms instructor?
I don't know.
Okay. Have you ever taken like any courses?
Get-
or
now-
anything?
Now, for fuck's sakes, people. See, this is why this detective is so good. They're doing, they talk about the serious stuff, and he's like, oh, let's just shoot this shit here about horses. And I used to be a wrangler, and we did all this shit, and horses, man, bad horse. Oh yeah, by the way, are you actually a certified? She's like, she cuts through the shit, she catches her off guard, gets her calm, gets her relaxed, and then she says something dumb. So yeah, horses, yeah, I was a wrangler. Horses are mean. I don't like horses and guns. Yeah, horses, people throw up. Just think, oh, hey, but are you a certified firearms instructor? And then her answer is, I don't know. She doesn't know whether or not she's a certified firearms instructor. Let me tell you. Let me give you a little clue here, Hannah. If you don't know if you're a certified firearms instructor, you ain't no certified firearms instructor. I don't know if I'm a certified. No. That's horseshit. You know you're not a certified firearms instructor. Don't be an idiot.
I don't know.
Okay. Have you ever taken like any courses or anything to become an instructor?
No.
Okay.
No. Why would I do that?
Yeah, I'm not really sure if that's required for this.
It's not required. But just because something's not required doesn't mean you shouldn't do it just because it's a smart thing to do. If you want to be a good armorer, if you want to be a respected armorer, if you want to get your name out there, how about you do something to elevate your resume? How about if you're going to deal with firearms and teach people how to use firearms, you get yourself to be a fucking firearms instructor? How about that, Hannah? That probably could have solved a lot of problems for you.
Yeah, and it might not be, but more just, your background and your
totally.
interest in this kind of stuff.
Yeah, no, mostly just trained with my dad. My dad probably wouldn't send me to go train with someone else exactly.
She could have said that, Scarlett. Either way,
yeah, he is kind of
it's the wrong. Well, it's the correct answer, but it's the wrong answer.
So as far as the accidental discharges on set, when did they occur?
Okay, so I think one was October.
Now, see, here's the thing. Here's what we're gonna learn. And then we'll shut it down right after this revelation. Tell us about the accidental discharges. And again, as Kaiser Pineapple pointed out earlier, I'm firmly on team. There is no such thing as an accidental discharge, just negligent discharges. So let's hear about what happened on the set, shall we? Mind you, the shooting was on the October 22nd, I believe, 21st or 22nd. I think it was the 22nd.
When did they occur?
Okay, so I think one was October 17th.
Okay.
They both occurred within 10 minutes of each other.
So they're
on October 17th, there were 2 separate negligent discharges of a firearm on this armorer's set. 2, and then a couple of days later, we had the big one. There's 2 on the 17th, and then one on the day.
on the same day.
They were on the same day, and it was chaotic for that little bit. But anyway, so I go to the bathroom. It's the first time I've been able to step off of set. I think it's like 4 or 2, maybe 3 o'clock. Finally get to step off set. I'm on the toilet, and all of a sudden I hear some screaming in my earpiece. And I'm like, what the fuck is that? And then I hear Dave say, it's okay, everyone, it's just a misfire. And I go, what the fuck? So I run out of the bathroom with my pants halfway down. I'm running to set, trying to figure out what happened. And I walk up to set and Sarah's like loading the guns. And I'm like, hey, like, how's it going? And she's all like, oh, good. I was like, what happened? She's like, nothing really. Can you load the one in there? And I say, okay, I'll go in there and I'll load that one.
Nothing really. The armor asked, what the fuck happened? Who did what? What misfired? I mean, what went off and who was responding? Nothing really. Oh, okay.
I had been loading that Henry with that stuntman for quite some time now, probably like most of the day. So I go in there and I load it with him. I load that one with him and I tell him, all right. So I said, all right, you got about 13 quarter or half loads in there. I can't really remember what it was for that particular scene. That might have been, the actors were outside, so those were probably quarters. So I tell him you have about 13 quarter loads in there. And he said, is there one in the chamber? And I said, yes. And he said, okay. And I said, okay. So don't touch the trigger. And he was like, okay. And I walk out. And then I go up to Sarah and I said, hey, what happened? And she was like, I heard there was like a misfire, which is like the wrong terminology for it. Even that's an accidental discharge.
Yep. No, it's a negligent
So
discharge.
I was like, I heard there was like a misfire or something. And she was like, yeah, I was loading it. And she's like, and it just went off. And I said, because I had to train her how to put them in and make sure that the hammer goes down gently enough. Because I asked her if she knew how to do that from Seth. And she's like, yeah, but let me just do it again a couple of times in front of you. And I saw her do it. And I was like, no. I was like, put your thumb all the way over the trigger. I mean, not the trigger, the hammer. Otherwise, if you don't put it all the way over, your hands will be sweaty sometimes and it'll slip. And so she was loading it, and I'm not exactly sure what happened. Like I said, I was in the bathroom, but guns don't just go off like that. And if you're loading it, it's most
they
likely
just don't.
that you made a mistake just loading it, and that's a hammer.
Right. You made the mistake, and yeah, right. So they had a rifle go off, and then it was Sarah that just about blew her own damn foot off. Thank God it was a blank round and not a real live gun. Or she probably would have blew her own fucking foot off. All right, everybody, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and germs of all ages, we're gonna wrap this up here for today. We'll continue with her tomorrow. Tomorrow they start with the opening argument, with the opening statement. So we're gonna cover that tomorrow, and we'll probably start an hour early. We'll go through some more of her interrogation, and then we'll continue to watch it during breaks in the trial. So there we go, people. That's where we're going to wrap it up today. Make sure you are here tomorrow. I don't know what time the trial gets underway. I'm assuming around I want to say 10 or 11 a.m. Eastern time. I'll start at 10 a.m. Eastern time, which is -9. I don't know. It's midnight. What's -9? 3 p.m. UK time. That's when we'll start. So there we go. Join us tomorrow. We'll do this a little bit before as we wait for the opening statements to start. Then we'll start with the opening statements and we'll follow it all the way through every day until we get a verdict. And then starting March 12th is the Karen Reed trial. And do not miss our Fuck It Friday stream where we say fuck it. It's a griftathon. It's a boozy griftathon. I try to liberate as much money from your pocket as possible. And anime is the big thing right now. We got some anime drama. We got some VTuber drama. Everybody's talking about anime, and I don't really know shit about anime. The anime I know about is like old school, like 1980s anime. Battle of the Planets. What do they call this? It's Star Blazers. They called it with the battle spaceship Yamato. That's what I know from the ancient anime. But what we're going to be doing is at certain intervals. I think at every $500, we'll do a big, massive anime themed shot. So we'll do regular old whiskey shots. And what we're going to be doing, we're going to be taking shots of Glenmorangie 12, the Lasanta 12-year Glenmorangie, Scott. This was actually the whiskey that got me interested in becoming a whiskey aficionado, an amateur whiskey sommelier, if you will. Yeah, the Yamato is old school. That's my, like I said, Battle of the Planets and shit like that. That was my old school anime. We're gonna be doing the La Santa, which holds a very, very special place in my heart. That was the whiskey that got me turned on to whiskey. So we're gonna be doing shots of that, and I think every 300 or every 500, we'll do a bonus anime themed shot. That's how I'm grifting on the anime deal. So prepare your bank account and throw all your money at me. We're gonna go for 4 hours, and then I'll make the assessment whether we continue with the Hannah Gutierrez Reed trial Friday or whether I delay it until Voltron, or whether I delay it until Sunday. So we're going to shut this down right now. Everybody in chat, mods, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much. And everybody in chat, 332 of you here hung out to the end. Thank you so much. I appreciate everybody here in chat. You could be anywhere else doing anything else conceivable, but you chose to be here, and I deeply, deeply appreciate you for that. Thank you for the memberships, for the super chats, and thank you for just being here and talking and being the Vice Squad, the greatest chat on the internet. Join us tomorrow as we kick off the actual Hannah Gutierrez Reed negligent manslaughter and tampering with evidence trial. We'll see you tomorrow. Right now, we're going to pop on over to Legal Mindset, who is having his 130,000 subscriber celebration stream. Again, more anime. So check that out. That's where we're going to go automatically. If you don't want to go there, go somewhere else. But tell Legal Mindset, Andrew, hi. Tell him Lawrack sends you, and to have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. You are all awesome people. Catch you tomorrow.